that's one of those ones where, above all else, I think you got to feel bad for Artur Akhtyamov. His first NHL start, not game. We know that he got in earlier in relief, but first NHL start, and he has to come out in the first period and face 24 shots on goal from the New York Islanders. 24 shots on goal. Like, I'm happy for the kid that he gets the debut, and this is obviously not on him at all, the way that this game went here tonight. The Leafs were fortunate for it to only finish 5-3 here as the final score in this one. Like, this thing could have gotten way out of hand, especially the way that that game was being played in the first period. I tweeted it out after the first. Money puck was currently sitting at that point in time, I believe it was 93% win percent probability or deserve to win a meter for the New York Islanders at that point. Like, that was a disgraceful start to this hockey game. And the Leafs had a goal. Ilya Sorokin had a terrible night on the other side of things for the New York Islanders, and that's really the only reason that the Maple Leafs were even able to get on the board. I mean, okay, great shot from Easton Cowan, but of the 3 goals that were scored, 2 of them were just very savable for Ilya Sorokin. The Maple Leafs suck. That was terrible hockey, and they hung that kid out to dry. And he's not going to walk away with the most flattering save percentage here tonight after this one in a 5-3 loss, against the New York Islanders, just coming in just below a 900 save percentage in this one here tonight for Achtyamov. But the kid was exceptional. If it's not for him, this thing is by far drastically worse here in this game tonight. He not only stood on his head and made a lot of saves, but he made some huge stops throughout the course of 60 minutes here tonight in this game. Achtyamov, I know that he comes away with an 8.86. He has 5 goals against on 44 shots. It's not the most flattering stat line of all time in an NHL debut or just for a goaltender in general, but I thought he was sharp. I thought he was really good back there. He just got sewered by the guys in front of him. Like, that felt, at a point in the first period, it almost felt not real. It felt like I was watching a loop where it was like a minute and a half of Islanders spending time in the O-zone, and then like somehow my TV reset and it was the same minute and a half. And then it did it again where it was the same minute and a half. Because it was like puck possession for the Islanders, work it around the outside, get to the middle, get 2-3 chances, recover the puck, work the puck around the outside, get the puck to the middle, get a prime chance, recover the puck, get the puck around the outside, get the puck to the middle, get another prime chance. Leafs get the puck, try to transition and get out the zone. The most they can do is get to the neutral zone, back in the offensive zone, and here we go, start the loop again. Achtyamov was making huge saves. You know, I look at the one goal that was scored early on into this one here as well. Lost faceoff by Max Domi, missed coverage in the defensive zone. Islanders end up getting open. Guy backdoor. Incredible save by Achtyamov, coming across, getting his pad on it. And then the rebound is sitting there, and Max Domi is like showing his hoop to the net camera. Like he's inside the net effectively trying to get the puck out of the crease. Like there's an Islanders player just doing whatever he wants just outside the blue paint, grabbing it, tucks it around inside past Achtyamov. Like, okay, sure, could Achtyamov had maybe sprawled back and made another save, or, you know, maybe not been 3 inches as far outside as he was to keep himself in the blue paint so that the second chance opportunity doesn't happen? I guess. But if we're going to go down that path, that is nitpicky as hell, especially for a goalie who's making his first NHL start. That was an embarrassing effort from the Maple Leafs in front of him. And I'm not going to come here and be mad at the Maple Leafs because of, they walk away from this one with a regulation loss, which is perfect. I've been scoreboard watching at the other teams around and just making sure, we're in good position here where we could potentially slide to a bottom 5 spot. We know we've got to lose out for the most part to get that. We also have to have some help from Seattle, who their remaining schedule, they play Vegas at home, Calgary at home, LA at home, Vegas on the road, Colorado on the road. There's 3 losses for Seattle on this stretch. Vegas, Colorado. Those are 3 losses. The only way they have a chance at winning one of those 3 is if either of those teams decides they're going to rest guys going into the playoffs. And, to be honest with you, I don't see a situation in which Vegas, with John Tortorella stepping into that program, wants to go into the postseason resting guys. Because I don't even think that that's a team that's that good. And he wants to make sure that they can continue clicking going into the postseason. They haven't had the best year. Hence why Bruce Cassidy gets fired with 8 games left on the schedule. So I don't see a scenario where John Tortorella says, no, we'll sit guys against the Seattle Kraken, makes their life easier and gives them a win. You're going to have pretty much 2 chances for Kraken wins. And they got to win both. Calgary and LA, they got to win both of those games. And the nightmare scenario for Leafs fans is that LA is also trying to get themselves into a playoff spot. And if they get into the playoff spot, you get a 2nd-round pick. If they don't, you get a 3rd-round pick for the Scott Laughton deal. So if Seattle beats LA, you hurt yourself. Because Seattle beats LA, great. But if they don't win 2 and you don't lose out, you could have Seattle win, still beat you in terms of finishing closer to the bottom 5, and LA miss a playoff spot. It is an unmitigated disaster right now. To just look at the out-of-town scoreboard, see where this fucking gong show is at right now. I'm trying to be happy about losing in reg, but the Seattle Kraken, who traded for Bobby McMahon, are making your lives difficult. You are in a nightmare scenario right now as a Leafs fan. And then to top it off, we are just watching some of the worst hockey of all fucking time right now. It's great to lose, and it's great to lose in reg, but this hockey is atrocious. Turning on my TV and having to watch that kid just get shelled in his minutes, in his first start, in the first period. It's impossible to not be it's impossible to be mad at that. It's comical to witness this. And then on top of all this, let's just throw into the gong show that is the Toronto Maple Leafs. You decide Villeneuve joins you on this trip. He's got to come up. Brandon Carlo's hurt. He can't play. You have a mobile puck-moving defenseman who you're hoping could take a step here at some point and make your NHL roster and become an NHL player. He's a guy that a lot of us have looked at and said, hey, that's the kind of model of player this Leafs team needs. Does he end up being a top 2 guy? Does he end up being a top 4 guy? Hell, I don't even know if he ends up being an NHL guy, but we don't know. That's the problem. He's an unknown, and we need to find that out. You have that guy on the trip. He's with you on the trip. But no, you've got to play Phil Myers, Simone Benoit, Troy Stetcher, and a banged up Oliver Ekman-Larsson in a meaningless fucking hockey game where you would rather lose than play Villeneuve. And then, to make it even better, OEL gets hurt. Like, he was banged up. And then he got hurt. What in the fuck is going on with the asset management in this organization? It is a clusterfuck of nonsense for these guys right now at MLSE running this shit show of an operation. I don't even know at points like how to evaluate what we're seeing. I guess a positive here tonight is Luke Haymes didn't play 7 minutes. He played 12:47. Jacob Quillen played 13:24. But Nylander, 21:53. Why? John Tavares, 19:39. Okay, sure, whatever. I mean, it's also against the Islanders. You're going to want to play the guy. I can let that fly. But Callie fucking Yarncroke is playing 16 minutes and 43 seconds. Callie Yarncroke is playing 16 minutes and 43 seconds in this game. Why can you not find 1 minute to take away from him and give to Jacob Quillen? 1 minute to take away from him and give to Luke Haymes. And look, I know that those guys are both playing center, but what the hell are you doing putting the guy out there that much? 5 minutes of penalty kill time for Yarncroke obviously contributes to the number that he sees on the time on ice tonight. I'm well aware of that. I understand how that all works and how the roster, in-game roster stuff works. But like, play someone else. Callie Yarncroke. Okay, great. He plays 5 minutes of shorthanded time. Shrink 11 minutes and 42 seconds of even strength. Cut that down. Find other line combinations. What are we doing? This is a complete and utter joke. We spent a little bit of time here on Leafs Nation and as a fan base looking at Berube and being like, well, part of the understanding here is that he's probably trying to coach to make sure that he shows he's competing and can prove some stuff so that he can try to get a job in the summer. If you are another organization looking at this and looking at the asset management, how are you not looking at this guy and just questioning what the fuck he's doing on any given night? Who plays, who doesn't play, how many minutes they play. Troy Stetcher was a healthy scratch, and now he comes in and plays 20 minutes and 57 seconds. You really had to play Phil Myers for 15 and a half minutes tonight and couldn't have put Villeneuve in? I get it. I'm happy about the regulation loss, not picking up any points here and trying to help your case in the Tankathon top 5. All on board with that. But it is a disaster that's taking place behind the bench. How are you not having Wickenheiser or Pridham or even Doan step in and say, enough? No more. Stop this. Put an end to this situation. How are you not telling him there is a mandate to play the kids? Why are you strapping Quillen to Steven Lorentz and Calle Yarncroke in 5-on-5 minutes? How can you play him with those guys and then be shocked that he doesn't have any production? They're not going to help him. And to make it even more mind-boggling in all of this, and this is not a shot at Luke Haymes, but like, Luke Haymes makes his NHL debut tonight. In the AHL, Jacob Quillen was more successful, poised to be a potential better pro than Luke Haymes, just based on what we saw in the AHL. You refuse to play Quillen above a fourth-line center. A spot opens up. Bo Grew is back down to the Marlies. Dakota Joshua is not playing. Okay, we can move some people through. Let's put Quillen up to the third line, and let's put Luke Haymes on the fourth. You know, I'd much rather see Max Domi on the fourth and move everyone else up. I would, but okay, let's meet in the middle. Let's compromise on this situation, if you will. And yet you put Luke Haymes in the third line center role? Jacob Quillen has played like 20 fucking games with you. Luke Haymes is playing his first. Again, not a shot at Luke Haymes. But how is he just jumping into this lineup and going to the third line like that? How can you not take Quillen and say, hey man, here's an opportunity. We're going to put you on that third line. You're going to play third line center a couple more minutes tonight. Play with some better players here. And Haymes will get an opportunity on that fourth line, and he'll stay there with guys who we deem more responsible. How is that not something that's recognized internally? Look, at the end of the day, Luke Haymes may be a better NHL player. He may have a better career. He may project out or end up having a higher ceiling. Ultimately, he may be a pro and Jacob Quillen isn't, or an NHL player. They may also neither be NHL players. But you had a guy who's been here for 20 games, been practicing with you, traveling with you in your lineup. We've all been clamoring for this guy to get an opportunity further up in the lineup, play more minutes, play with better players. One finally arises, and you fumbled that. It just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. There is not much about what's going on with this group right now and this coaching staff that makes sense. Like, I have to watch this team lose, which I'm okay with at this point. I'm openly rooting for this team to lose. And yet you're making the losses that we're wanting as a fan base more miserable. Bad hockey, slow hockey, guys that we know, if you're going to be successful, should not and cannot be here. And there are kids that can jump in here and get NHL opportunity and maybe make the most of their experience, like what Bogru did, like what Easton Cowan's doing right now with elevated minutes and more responsibility, that you could push up and find something out. And yet, you are mishandling this. Like, this is a masterclass in mishandling. Pow Pow says, stat watching is not what we should be doing, Zach. Gru has been the best player that came up by far because he understands his role and plays with responsibility. Okay, Pow Pow, fair. Like, in terms of how he's performed in the NHL level, I'm not going to disagree with you. But my counterpoint to it is he's 26 years old. He spent time in the NHL previously. Like, he's played NHL games. He should be more mature and more responsible. And I'm not, again, this isn't a team that you're looking at that's in a playoff run or a playoff push. You're not looking to find the most responsible guy who can fit in here to plug a hole to get through the first round. You're trying to find out what you have in the Marlies for guys that can potentially be a part of the future. No, Calle Jarnkrok, he's got to play 16 minutes. Wonderful. Wonderful. All right, a lot more to get to on tonight's show. A lot more thoughts on what went on the goaltending here tonight from Achtyamov, on Luke Haymes, his game, on Cowan, his goal, Quillen, Berube, I guess. And we're going to break it all down through a number of different ways here involving you guys in the chat. Before we can get to that, just a reminder, today's show, as always, is a presentation of Bet365. Hockey fans, check out Bet365's 3-goal early payout. When your team goes up 3, you get paid. It's that simple. Download the app today and must be 19 plus. Please play responsibly. For those of you who are new here, or for those of you guys who are wondering how this show operates, there's a few different ways that everyone can get involved, because I just did my 20-minute rant off the top about some stuff, and I probably got more opinions, which will come up as people get involved in this show going forward. But you guys are the most important part of the show, because without you, this thing doesn't run, and this is a chat and fan-driven show. So to get involved here, the number one way is to be participating in the chat. I know that there's people who come through on Twitter, on Facebook, on Instagram. If you want to comment and you want your thoughts read and to be heard, or you want to participate with the chat that you see on the screen there while the show is going on, the easiest way is to jump on over to YouTube, the Leafs Nation 401. You check us out there. You can get involved live during the show. You can be a part of all of that over on the Leafs Nation 401. So make sure to head on over there. Jump in the chat. The second way, you can be a part of the chat, but you can do so from a more, I guess, elevated perspective, I guess. If you want to guarantee that your question, your comment, your concern, whatever, gets read on the show, send in your comment via Super Chat. Proceeds from our Super Chats go to Sick Kids Charity, Canada's #1 research-intensive children's hospital, #3 in North America. All you have to do is click that little box that you see in the live chat section. It's got a $sign in it. You type the message you want to send. You select the amount that you want to send, and then you fire that thing off, and I will read every single super chat that comes in here. If you think I'm an idiot, if you think that something that's going on is dumb and you want to have a say, if you have frustrations, if you like what I'm saying and you agree, if you have questions or hot takes, send them in via super chat. I will read every single one, and proceeds from our super chats go to an amazing cause. Going to Sick Kids Charity is something that I'm super, super proud of to be able to be a part of here on the Postgame show. You know, I talk a lot here about how I'm so thankful for the opportunity to get to come here and be a part of this channel and talk about the Maple Leafs for a living, no matter how much they make me want to pull my hair out or scratch my eyes until I can't see anymore. It's an absolute dream come true to be able to talk about this. And it just gets even better with the fact that Sick Kids is involved in the show, and you guys sending in comments can help Sick Kids charity. Last season we raised about $4,500. I think this season we've blown past that number. I got to check what the totals are at, but we got Game 80, Game 81, and Game 82 left, so we can continue to get those numbers up. I will set a personal goal here in the chat. If we can raise $100 here on the show tonight, I don't know. I don't know what we'll do. We'll do something special. You guys send something in, but maybe $200 and we can do something nuts here on the postgame show. But you send in suggestions in the chat and send in those super chats, and I'll figure something special out for you guys, especially for Game 82. And we can pile it all into Game 82 there, so we have a little bit more time to prepare for whatever that special thing is, rather than just trying to mash this together on Saturday or Monday or whatever. We'll do it for Game 82, but you send those thoughts in the chat and send in those super chats. The final way for you guys to get involved, well, I guess final, but the final way for you guys to get involved on the show is to call in. I don't want to just be the guy sitting here yelling at the screen and losing my mind. And in a normal season, I would watch that game and snap. My brain would explode watching that hockey and watching what took place out there. But it's not even frustrating. It's laughable. It's more frustrating what takes place from the coaching side of things or the roster management side of things, and upsetting to an extent what happened to Artur Akhtyamov out there tonight. But I mean, I want to hear from you guys in the chat. What are your thoughts on this game, this team, this season? And the easiest way to do all of that is by calling in to the show. So I'll send a link in momentarily. I want to get to a couple of things here from tonight, and I'll answer one of the questions in the chat quickly. Luke says, Zach, how did you get that Binnington helmet? Story time. Yeah, for those who are listening on the podcast, which everyone can do, by the way, if you listen on the podcast, you won't see it, but you can find us wherever you get your podcast, the Leafs Nation After Dark. So you can make sure to turn on automatic downloads there and get involved in the show from a listening perspective. But behind me, up in the top corner, over my right shoulder, left on the screen, is a Jordan Binnington helmet. Quick story on the Binnington helmet, because people have asked, and then I'll get back to the game. One of my buddies grew up training with Binnington, and then he ended up graduating on to coach at the goalie school that Binnington also ended up going back and helping and coaching while he was also training there still, through junior and everything. So my buddy became friends with him, and he was at Binnington's cup party and everything. And in 2019, after that Stanley Cup win for Jordan Binnington, Craig Berube for that matter, my buddy got a Jordan Binnington replica mask. So this is a replica from the year that they won the cup, and Binnington autographed it to me, and so I've got it up behind me. I've never really been able to show it off that much. Back in the old days in my old studio at my parents' house, it was up there, but in my old one at my old apartment, you couldn't see it because there was nowhere to put up on display. So I thought, you know what, here we've got to be able to display it, so that's why it's up there. It's kind of funny. It's just a random Jordan Binnington Blues helmet, but I don't know. It's pretty cool. It's signed to me, so that's why that one ends up there. Back to tonight's game and what we saw. Let's go to the kids first. So, kids, Quillen and Haymes. Starting with Quillen. I'm glad to see that Quillen got more minutes tonight. And Even in the third period there, actually, and late in the second, there were a couple of times where Quillen ended up jumping out on a line. I think part of it was just because of penalties and guys getting mixed around and going with different people, but Quillen ended up playing with William Nylander and getting that chance. I thought he looked good. Look, Quillen has some work to do in his game. I think at the NHL level, he's got to adjust to the speed a little bit better here. But he still works his absolute nuts off. I mean, we even saw that in last night's game, which is one of the more pathetic games that I've seen the Maple Leafs play until I just watched what took place tonight, even in spite of the fact that it was 5-3. He gives it everything he's got until the final buzzer, and I commend him for that. Now, there's obviously an understanding that he's vying for an NHL job and wants to prove that he's a guy they should be considering for the roster next season. But I want to see the guy play with better players. I want to see him play with guys who are better at controlling and carrying the puck. Guys who are better at making plays happen that aren't just muck and grind. Because I don't think he's specifically that type of player that works in that situation. Like a Scott Laughton works well on your fourth line with a Lorentz and a Yarncroke, as much as I didn't like him being on that fourth line, because he knows how to muck and grind and play a fourth line role, play a bottom six role very well. And that's in his game. Quillen, I think, is more skilled and a guy who can create more offensively. And he's kind of getting a double whammy or triple whammy, to be honest with you, where one hand, he's playing in this bullshit Berube system that is suffocating creativity and offense and, this free-flowing style of game, which not necessarily that he has to play exactly that. At Quinnipiac, obviously, they play a pretty structured style of hockey. That's why they won the NCAA championship while he was there, of which he scored the game winner, by the way, for people who don't know. But he's basically being suffocated in this system where you don't get to be creative. You don't get to think outside the box and play offensively. And then he's also now being strapped to, with the second whammy of all of this, he's being strapped to Steven Lorentz and Calle Jarnkrok, who just can't help him or contribute to anything around him. Okay, finally he can get something going or get a breakout going. He doesn't have wingers there who can help him and support him. He doesn't have wingers who can read the play at a super high level. He doesn't have wingers who can contribute offensively from a creative standpoint and make things happen for him, or when he makes things happen, get open to help him contribute and facilitate offense. He just doesn't have that support. And then the triple whammy of it all, the third strike, is Berube, outside of tonight, just refuses to play the kid for any sort of significant minutes. And I'm not talking about 18 to 20, but why can't he play 13 to 15 like what he did tonight? The coaching and everything is just mind-boggling, but I see a lot of positives in Quillen. I see a lot he can work on, no doubt. I think he can be better with the puck. I think he can be better possessing the puck. I think he can be better creating offense. But I think a lot of that needs support around him. He needs a better cast of characters from the coach to his line mates to help get the most out of him there. Luke Haymes. Luke Haymes night tonight. I was hoping, and I thought that Luke Haymes potentially would have tipped that puck, or it would have hit him or something on the Steven Lorentz goal. It doesn't happen. It's not him who gets credit for it. He does pick up one assist on the night. He's +1. He gets a shot on goal. He plays 12 minutes and 47 seconds. I like the guy. It's one game. I don't want to put too much stock into it, but I liked him tonight. He looked like he's got some pace. He obviously has some offensive ability, as what we've seen in the AHL. He's not lighting it up down there, but he's got some ability. And I thought he looked fine tonight in this game. I didn't look at him while he was out on the ice and think, what in the fuck is he doing out there? What play was that? Why is he doing that? What is he thinking? I didn't feel like that. I can't really give you too much on Luke Haymes other than I thought he was fine. I didn't feel like he was out of place. I thought he had a couple of decent chances, or like a couple of looks while his line was out there. He obviously had the one where he ended up hitting the post, and it was a pretty crafty move that he ends up making to get himself his hands free to take the shot that he did that sneaks through Sorokin and hits that post. So, hey man, like happy for Luke Haymes for getting a chance. I'm glad that Berube did finally decide, you know what, we'll play the guy and we'll play somebody who comes up from the Marlies for more than 7 minutes. But he did play Pezzetta in this on 6:24. What a night. What a night. What a night. The call-in link is sent in the chat. I want you guys to call in and give your thoughts on how you feel about how everything's run, what happens with this team. It's pinned in the chat, so make sure to get in the call line as well. We're 4 likes away from hitting 50. At 50 likes, we will do the smelling salts. 50, 100, 150, 200, however high we get here on the postgame show tonight, we will do the smelling salts. Word Nerd says, Luke Haymes sounds like a country singer. True. Luke Combs, Luke Bryan. Maybe that's Hunter Hayes. Those are some country singers. I guess their names kind of sound like Luke Haymes. Nicholas B has been adamant in this chat about Italy soccer. Hey, buddy, I'm Canada until I die. I'm not cheering for no Italians. England, I guess, is the second country that I'll root for it all. But it's Canada. It's Canada until I die. So if it's not Canada, then I'll, shift allegiances to England and cheer for them. But it's Canada all the way. My boy Alistair Johnson out there plays like a goddamn hockey player. Tough son of a bitch. Again, a reminder, get those calls in, send in those super chats here tonight on the postgame show, and continue to like the stream. Let's get some of these segments in, because I always do a bad job of managing that, where I just don't spread them out well enough, and all of a sudden later on I'm like, we've got to do every single segment. So let's go right now to our Bet365 Best Bet segment. Our best bet is a presentation, as always, of Bet365. Hockey fans tired of waiting for the end of the game to get paid, ready to move on to the next puck drop. That's why Bet365, an official partner of the NHL, has 3-goal early payout. If the team you're riding goes up 3 goals at any point in the game, they'll pay your bet out early. Hockey moves fast, and now with 3-goal early payout, there's one less thing you have to wait around for. Bet365. Download the app and see what early payout's all about. Must be 19 or older. Please play responsibly. Our best bets here tonight in this one, unfortunately, did not go as well as they could have. We got kind of screwed at the end. But let's start with the first loss. We had Luke Haymes anytime goal. That was only $20 on that bet. A fifth of a unit for anybody who is following along at home. So that brings our total down 0.2 units on the year. So that would bring us to minus $20 here if you're betting the exact same amounts as I am here on the pregame show. So that one loses. The one that wins for us tonight is Matthew Schaefer anytime goal. And thank God Schaefer scored, because this stupid Leafs team was scaring the life out of me that they were going to find a way to push this to overtime and pick up a meaningless point tonight against the Islanders. Or, at that, make life difficult on the Islanders to get to the playoffs. Like, I don't know about you guys, but I want to see Matthew Schaefer in the playoffs. I want to see more hockey out of this kid and what he does when the lights are the brightest, because I kind of feel like this is a kid who would have contributed at the Olympics. So, yeah, as much as people want to hate on the Islanders, I get it, but I mean, look, man, I love watching Matthew Schaefer play hockey. That's the silver lining in all of this, and watching this garbage that takes place on the ice tonight is ultimately, at the end of the day, you get to watch Matthew Schaefer play hockey, and that's a pretty cool thing. He scores. That profits us $130. So that brings us up a total of $110 on the year. That's a 2% ROI. We are now up 1.1 units on this season. Then we also had, and this is the goddamn dagger in all of this, and the heartbreaker of tonight, we had the Islanders minus 2.5. We had a full unit on that at plus 165. It would have profited $165, a return of $265 if that one won. And it loses. So we lose the $100 on that bet. It does mean we stay positive. We've got a $10 profit right now, 0.1 units up at this point in the season through 132 bets this year through 79 games. We are up 0.1 units, $10 of profit. It's been an absolute roller coaster ride, and we've got a couple more to go. But yeah, we are now at 0.1 units of profit, $10 of profit. So that gets us there. But the reason it becomes such a dagger is twofold. On one hand, the Maple Leafs just got absolutely dominated in this game tonight. From the first period, where the shots were 24-3 for the New York Islanders. And I kind of, it's a weird situation, because I don't want Achtyamov to just get completely shelled in terms of goals against and feel terrible about himself and come away from the first period down 4-0 in his first NHL start. Like, that would have sucked. So it was like a silver lining where it was like, hey, you faced a crazy amount of shots. You had 2 goals against, but you hung in there, bud. You made some good saves. You made some saves you probably shouldn't have, and for that, we'll give you credit. And for that, we'll give you the pat on the back that you deserve, because that was a hell of a performance. But I also kind of think the Maple Leafs should have been down way more at that point. Like way more at that point in the game. They weren't. The other reason that it's a dagger is because the Islanders generated 6.14 expected goals in all situations tonight against the Maple Leafs. 6.14 expected goals tonight. The Maple Leafs, on the other hand, according to Money Puck, generated 2.65. That is a 3-goal difference in the expected goal chart. And then the other reason, and the one that's the most annoying of all, is the Islanders. The puck goes down the ice, then it deflects off Domi. It hits the post on an empty net. It would have made it 6-3. the Leafs would have been dead. It's over. We win a bet. Schaefer wins his bet for us. No. Hits the post. The Leafs have life. And we lose the bet. You couldn't have just given me one. One. Lucky bounce there. Come on, man. That's your best bets. Reminder, everybody, you want to call into the show, click that link that is pinned in the chat there right now. It says call in on all caps, and a link is associated beside it. So click on that link, and you guys can call in here tonight to the postgame show and give your thoughts. In the meantime, we hit 56 likes here on the postgame. You guys get that number up. You get it to 100. We'll do it again. But right now, we got to do the smelling salts because we hit 50 likes on the post game. So let's start with the first round of smelling salts for all of you guys. There you go. There's the smelling salts. Ooh. Let's go. Let's get some callers in here tonight. I want to know what you guys are thinking and how you guys are feeling about this thing. Let's get to a couple of quotes from tonight, and let's see what our boy Craig Berube is saying. Craig Berube. Let's go to Mark Masters' Twitter here. All right, let's see. Craig Berube. Oh, no, that's not it. Berube says Stolarz is getting imaging tomorrow. More info on Carlo will also be available tomorrow. Doubtful that Joshua returns in final 3 games, Leafs coach says. How in the world are you even looking at Anthony Stolarz or Brandon Carlo and saying, come back this season? How are you possibly looking at these last 3 games and a banged up Brandon Carlo, a banged up Oliver Ekman-Larsson, and an Anthony Stolarz injury that, at least from the eye test, looked bad? A non-contact lower body injury for a goaltender in which he's writhing in pain on the ice. And yet, the next day, we're still optimistic he returns for the final 3 games of the season in a year in which you are sniffing a top 5 spot. I get they're competitors. I get that they probably want to play and come back. But how as an organization are you not stepping in and just saying, no, there's 3 games. You're done. Even for your own personal health. This isn't 30 games left, 25 games left, 15 games left with a playoff spot on the line. This isn't a race like where Thomas Chabot is returning early from injury because he knows how important this push is to the Senators and how much he's needed in their lineup, where he's like, I got to get back out there. No one in this market is going to look at you sideways if you just call it and say, hey, Carlo's out, Joshua's out, OEL's out, Stolarz is out. They're done for the season. How do you not just shut them down? Play Hildeby, play Achtyamov, play Luke Haymes, play Villeneuve, Play Quillen. Play Tverberg. Stop getting these guys to come back. There's no shame in saying they're done. It's over. Nobody, Craig, I promise you, nobody is going to be mad if you say they're not returning for the last 3 games. Nobody. Even taking it all aside and the pride of like, I want to return. Take that aside. Just consider long-term health. Do you actually think that you're going to be competitive next season? Do you think you're going to retool? Even Berube aside, organizationally. Okay, then shut them down. Because what is the point of having OEL go out there and then in the summer he's got to have some type of, extensive recovery process on this thing that he's been battling all season long and be like, yeah, he battled through it and it just, it's worse than we thought. Who the fuck needs the guy out there? I love OEL and the competitive nature, but stop. Well, we'll find out because we're getting imaging from the guys. We'll figure it out. Why? Let me clarify here on this because I obviously misspoke. The point still stands about him being banged up, but Mark Masters tweeted out, no injury concern for Oliver Ekman-Larsson. Leafs D-man was given a 10-minute misconduct for slamming stick after slashing call on Lorentz put Leafs down 2 men. That is hilarious. That Lorentz slashing call was fucking pathetic. Like, genuinely. That slashing call on Lorentz was pathetic. That, I guess, is a slash, but a couple of things. One, the Leafs are already shorthanded. 2, the Islanders are already winning that game. 3, the Maple Leafs don't want to be there. And 4, it's not like a dangerous slash or anything like that. Lorentz goes across, just misses his stick, catches him on the shin pad. Slash. Pathetic. It's a comedy skit. What happens out there? It's a comedy skit. In a game like that, who cares? Okay, this went by, and I got to get to this right now. This is massive. Massive, massive, massive. Ken Sale with this $226 super chat. Jeremy said, let's get this $226 out of the way. Can the chat match him? P.S. This from the POS Android he was using. So that comes in from Jeremy. A $226 super chat from Jeremy. So I don't know what the hell we're going to have to do here. You guys in the chat, get creative. Send in those super chats. We'll figure something out that we can do in Game 82 that we could do for fun for that final game of the season and the final post-game show of the season. But Jeremy, genuinely, thank you so much. That is fucking awesome, and it goes to an amazing cause. So it's not even just me thanking you. It's, the people at Sick Kids as well, because that is a huge donation and means a lot. So thank you, Jeremy, for that. And with that, we have our first caller on the line here. Let's welcome him in, the guy who just sent in the super chat. I know I'm skipping over somebody, but when you send in a $200 super chat like that, I'm going to get to you, and I think the other guy will understand, hopefully. Oh, he left. Wow, right as I was about to click his name. All right, let's welcome in the other caller that we have waiting here. Let's welcome to the program, Hunter. What's up, Hunter? Hello, Hunter. Do we got you on the line? Hello, Hunter, my old friend. Do we have you here? Okay, no Hunter for the time being. We'll see if we can get Hunter connected and get his audio working. But in the meantime, let's read some more quotes. Leafs rookie goalie Artur Akhtyamov. Artur says, "It feels unbelievable. Like my first game. I'm so excited. It's a good experience for me." Poor guy had to face 44 fucking shots in his first game. Favorite moment. This is from Mark Masters' Twitter. Every moment my favorite. First game, I remember this game all my life. Well, I'm glad he's in positive spirits because that kid got put through goddamn hell out there tonight, and he stood strong. I know his save percentage and his GAA is not going to reflect on him positively after a night like this, or you look at it and you go, ooh, under 900 and about a 5-something GAA. Obviously, it gets higher because he got pulled there with a couple minutes left, so he didn't play. But 886 save percentage. He should be proud of the performance he put forth, because without him, this thing could have been 6, 7, 8-2. Without him in that first period performance, you talk about a pathetic effort from the Maple Leafs. This could have been 10x if he didn't make some of those saves that he did in the first period. Like, drastically worse here tonight. More quotes. Achtyamov on facing Ilya Sorokin. He was one of my favorite goalies when I was younger. I watched his game when he was in the KHL, and when he moved here, I was so excited to play against him. Honestly, man, like, pretty pumped up for the kid. I feel terrible that had to be his first game, first start, I should say, where he goes in and has to be behind just an embarrassing group of individuals. And that's what they are, individuals, not a team. Individuals, not a team. Not a team, individuals who left him out to dry here tonight. But he played amazing. And he deserves a lot of credit, and I feel positive about the goaltending pipeline that we're developing in Toronto right now. I really do. Quick super chat here that came in before we get to the first caller. D-Man says, Zach, last night was epic from Montreal with the $10 super chat there. That is so. Thank you to D-Man for that one. Appreciate it. And I'm glad you found last night epic. With that, let's go to our first caller of the show. Let's welcome in Jeremy. What's up, Jeremy? Jeremy.
Yo.
All
right, here we are. Who the hell
Here we
has
are.
their shit going on in the background?
I don't know, but if you're in the background right now, mute your mic, please. I can't hear you, but everyone else waiting to call in can, so please mute your mic.
There. Jesus Christ.
We're good.
How's she going?
Was that you who sent in that? I did come to work. Was that you who sent in that $200
Damn right,
super
that's
chat?
me that sent in that money.
You are an animal, Jeremy.
I don't play in that chat shit. That's too much work. No, I got my little fucking PR guy out here, and I said, fuck, let's send one in there. Why not? Let's get this up. I would send them into Dangles, but the Leafs don't win enough to send money to the Durham fucking Humane Society because I'm a dog guy. But when it comes to sick kids, and I can't have kids, yeah, it's well, I was there for my tonsils anyways. It doesn't make it. It's beyond the point. At the end of the day, let's fucking go. At the end of the day, let's get it up there. You wanted 200. Let's start with 200. That's where the bidding goes. Know your worth. Know where you want to get. If you start off too low, you won't get to where you want to go.
So you're saying
right?
I should have said like 500 or something?
Yeah, I probably would have put 700. Because
do you think we can erase the beginning of the show? Do you think we can erase the beginning and we can go back and say like 500?
Yeah, fuck, we could do that at the end if nobody gets close to me. But when Kenny was putting it in, I said, let me see that. What is 226? Back out, and let's put 226. Let's get it up there, yada, yada. To where first he looked at me and he goes, sure you don't want to just give him $100 to her? Okay.
Thank you,
All
Jeremy.
right.
Appreciate
We'll
it.
just give
Those
a
two amazing
hundo.
calls.
That makes things easy. No, let's get the 200 out of the way and get to work. Jesus Christ. People tip more leaving change at Wendy's. You know?
Well,
Right?
thank you, Jeremy. I not only appreciate it, but I mean, the people of Sick Kids really appreciate it as well. So
Yeah, man.
thank you for that.
Fucking, they're the future, even though fucking half the parents, well, not those parents, but parents, like Merrick said, what the fuck happened to you? Or what happened to him? Or, we're not called or coddled. Hey, somebody is in the fucking chat here right now waiting for a call. Mute your fucking mic right now.
Let them know.
Or we're going to get you out of here. Where's Vic? Vic, yeah, come out. He's trying to be a hero.
I produce this show.
Sorry, that's right. Oh, we got another fucking guy. All right.
Everyone mute your mics, please. This might be as much of a gong show on this post-game show as what we just saw
Can I call
on the
back
ice
last? I wasn't
If you-
prepared to be here. We'll only do 8 minutes at the end.
Okay, if you want to, if that's what you want to do, Jeremy, no problem.
Yeah, I'll call back at the end.
happily welcome you back at the end. No problem. All right, get out
We'll
of
do
here.
her at the end.
All right, I'll see you
All right,
later.
son.
All right, there you go. We'll get Jeremy back in here later. Let's go to the next caller. I think this is the culprit of the noise that we're hearing right now. Is this AM34 in the chat? Is this Austin Matthews we have on the line? Do we have AM34? That is the name I saw there. Do we have AM34 on the call? Might have to unmute yourself if you are waiting. Or if you forgot what your name was that you submitted to call in, possibly.
No, not the real Austin, no.
There we go. What's up, the fake AM34?
Hey, man, thanks for having me.
Thanks for calling in. Appreciate it. What do you got here tonight? What are you thinking? What are you feeling?
Just calling in to say basically thank you for your show that you do. I really enjoy it, and even all the chatters from one end to the other I enjoy too. And so, yeah, I was just calling in to say that, like, just a quick call, but like whatever you wanted to ask me, go ahead. I mean, I'm a Leafs fan for a long time.
Well, thank you, man. I appreciate that. I will ask you a couple of questions here. Where are you at? You think this thing can be fixed next season? And again, I appreciate you calling in to say that, but I really do. Do you think this thing can be fixed next season? Do you think they can be good again?
It might take a little bit more than that, like time-wise, but hopefully we can take one step at a time in the right direction through like the GM moves and stuff that we got to deal with, and head the right way.
So is your name AM34 because you're a huge Austin Matthews fan, or what's up with that?
I definitely am a big Matthews fan. You know, I love the guy.
Fair. So would you be upset if the Leafs traded him this summer? Would you understand?
I would understand. I'm kind of with that movement, plus or minus. But like, we got to do what we got to do to get better. That's the bottom line.
Fair enough. Would you be willing to trade William Nylander then too?
Absolutely.
Okay. Do you think Craig Berube gets fired here this summer?
Unfortunately, yes,
You're
does.
A Berube guy.
But like, I'm with Rosie and those boys. Like, he's a good coach, but he's not our coach.
Fair enough. Okay. Have you been watching every game this season?
I always do. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, fair. Well, so you're experiencing the misery.
I watch you too after the games, like this year more particularly. That I discovered you in the chat and everybody, but the channel, and it's been a lot of fun.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. So I'll ask you one final question, and unless you got anything else for me, what has been your favorite moments of this season from the Maple Leafs? What is the best thing that you've seen, the thing you enjoyed the most? Because, it's been all negative for the most part this year, but I'm curious. Do you got any positives from this season?
Yeah, I guess I'll take good question, Zach. Good to point out the positives in such a tough year. I'll take the Domi fight that he stepped up and did what he had to do there. And then more or less, I'll take the rookies that we've been playing the last game or two, or Cowan and Quillen, and hopefully we see more of them.
Okay, I think that's entirely fair. On the Domi fight was probably the most anticipated and exhilarating moments of the season when it came to, meeting expectations. We all hoped something would happen, and then he beat the wheels off Gudas, so I can get that. And I'm on board with the kids. I'm frustrated with Berube not playing them enough, but I'm liking what I'm seeing here so far. I think we got some guys. I think we got some people who can maybe compete for roster spots next season, and to me, that's exciting as well. So I get it completely.
Thank you, Zach. Yeah, Berube's a little hard on the rookies, but hopefully they keep working hard. They'll get there. Thank you for the call tonight.
Thank you for calling in. Thank you, and thank you for your support on the channel and on this show.
Stay
I
strong,
really appreciate
boys.
that. Stay strong, not the real AM34. Thank you for the call tonight. There you go. There is not the real AM34 with his first call here on the Leafs Nation After Dark channel. Really appreciate him for calling in here tonight. Let's go to our next caller on the line. Let's go to, and also, by the way, quickly, just before I get to that, glad to hear some positives. It's been a year of negatives, but finding some positives in all of it. Loves the Leafs. Will watch the show, watch every game. So shout out to the fake AM34 for that call here. Oh, just also a quick reminder to people in the chat, keep getting those super chats in. Jeremy, he's going to call back in later. And if when he calls in, you guys have not matched his total, he's going to be disappointed. So get those likes in. Let's get the smelling salts up. The more likes, the more smelling salts, the more likely maybe people are to do, some donations here to Sick Kids. We're on a push for Sick Kids. This isn't for me. It's not for my pockets. It's not for my enjoyment. It's for Sick Kids. Proceeds from the super chats go to Sick Kids. Let's get those in. And let's go to our next caller here on the program tonight. Let's welcome in Jordan. What is up, Jordan? How you doing?
Well, we lost, so I'm happy. But
Seattle
is losing to Vegas, so that's not good. So we need them to come back. Okay, so for Sick Kids,
No. Seattle's losing to Vegas. That's good. We need.
We got to.
We need them to win.
Seattle.
We need them to win.
We need them to win, Zach.
You're right. You're right. Sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. But for Sick Kids, I got an idea. What we should do, like if we raise 500, 600, 700, you should shave your hair because we're not making the playoffs. No playoff beards. We should do like a reverse or something. I think that'd be kind of funny. But if you don't want to, it's fine.
My hair is a tough sell, and not really
at least
necessarily
the
to me.
Okay,
fine. What is the number? What's a reasonable number? Like here in the chat, if we get. Let's say if we get $750 in donations, I will go full shave beard, and maybe I'll do it on live.
Yeah, we should do it. The goal should be the end of game 82. So we got a couple more games, and then the last game you shave it off, and we didn't make the playoffs, and we get ready for next year. That would be fun.
Okay, so we are at 226 from Jeremy.
All right, so we got to get 750 by next week.
So 226 from Jeremy plus the $7 that came in from D-Man. So I'm just going to keep tallying this as the show goes on. We need to get these tonight, not over the course of this next week, tonight. That's the stipulation, Jordan, okay? You want that to happen? You want me to shave live on camera and do it? We'll do that if you guys get to 750. 750, I'll shave the full face live on cam here on the postgame show. That is, I don't think you guys realize like how tough that is for me. I'm going to look like I'm 12 years old. So send in those super chats, like the stream. let's get that thing going. But what are you thinking here tonight, Jordan? How you feeling otherwise? I mean, obviously the loss, good. You're right. Vegas.
And we have to lose to Florida. We have to lose to Florida Saturday. I think they should start the rookie goaltender again, or maybe not even play a goalie if that's even possible. We have to lose that game. Now, I do have a question for you. I don't know the answer. So, obviously, there's a lot of assistant GMs that are being thrown around as possible GMs for the Leafs. Are the Leafs not allowed to talk to any of these guys until the season is over? Or can they get permission? Like, how does that work?
For the GMs, they can get permission and they can talk to guys. So they've been granted permission to talk to Sonny Maeda, who's the AGM in Florida right now. And if you get permission,
can they make him an offer now?
Yeah, I think so. They could hire him right now if they wanted to, as far as I understand.
Because the thing that worries me, Seattle, Ron Francis stepped down. Like, there's 4 or 5 teams that need GMs. Like, if we find the guy we like, just go get him, sign him, let's get this moving. Because, I personally want Sonny. That's just me, but I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see who they choose. But yeah, we just got to lose our last 3. We got to hope Seattle wins a couple games, and because I think that top 5 pick will be very important for us. But
yeah,
we're gonna see.
Man, if you look, this is the thing with the top 5 pick this year, by the way, that I think people kind of need to recognize here. No matter what, you're screwed with your picks over this season and next, or if you get one this year, next season and the year after that. If no matter what, if you get this pick this season, you get a 1-year jump start on getting yourself ready for whatever the next phase is. That's the important piece to me, because if you're going to retool and think you're going to be good and think you're going to be able to be competitive next season and get in the playoffs or compete for a Stanley Cup, or at least show Austin Matthews and William Nylander that you're going to be competitive, and then they want to stick around the program and you get into the playoffs next year, maybe you're not a cup contending team, but you at least just get there. A guy that you draft in the top 5, and especially a guy that you can draft this year in the top 3, whether that's Stenberg, Verhoff, or McKenna, they could be a piece that joins your team next season. They could be a guy who comes here right away, makes it out of camp, and is on your roster helping you achieve that goal and head in the right direction. The other side of it is, even if you aren't going to be good next year and the retool isn't going to work that way, and Matthews and Nylander say, check please, we're out, this isn't going to work for us, if you get that guy now, it starts the development of him. And when you're 2-3 years down the road, that guy's going to start coming into his own. That guy's going to start to be, a reliable NHL player, because the guys that you're looking at right now are projecting to be those types of guys. You're going to have Knies, you're going to have Cowan, you're going to have Danford, and maybe Haymes and Quillen are pieces, and you're going to have the goaltending. So you can jumpstart that position, because maybe you go out and get a Keaton Verhoff. Maybe he doesn't play next season in the NHL, but maybe he plays the year after that. Okay, if you're going to rebuild and you're getting rid of Matthews and Nylander, Verhoff's the next wave. And he's going to at least have other talent around him in Knies and Cowan and the other guys that I listed, of some of these young guys that you do have right now. And are the picks that you're going to get back from some of these teams going to be that amazing if you trade Matthews and Nylander? Like, no, you're probably going to get a bunch of first-round picks and stuff like that. You might also end up getting back prospects and guys who can jump into your lineup and help you out that way if you do move on from those guys. But it's going to all help build to that. Getting a top 5 pick this year helps you go either way immediately, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. And I like the guys at the top of this draft too. We don't know next year and the year after. So, yeah, all we can do is hope they keep losing and hope Seattle wins. But we'll see. I mean, but yeah, get the GM in, get it going, figure out what they're going to do with Berube, and let's get ready for next season. I mean, you're talking about positives. There wasn't, in my opinion, a lot of positives. So just on to the next season. But it is going to be weird watching the playoffs without the Leafs playing, because they've obviously been in the playoffs the last 10 years. So it's going to be different.
It
Okay,
is. It's going to be different. It's going to be a weird feeling because, we're not going to have that anxiety, which I guess in a way is probably a good thing, because we don't have to deal with that elevated heart level and blood pressure during that first round like we do every single year. But, it is sad. It is sad not to see playoff hockey in Toronto.
Yeah, I mean, I'll still watch it, obviously, but it'll just be different. So, all right, that's all for me tonight, Zach. Hopefully, I will talk to you after we lose our next game.
Hopefully. Thank you for the call tonight, Jordan. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir, Zach. Thank you, sir.
There you go. Thank you. There's Jordan on the line. The next caller that we're going to get to in 1 second here has been somebody who is an active participant in the chat and tried to call in once before, but just could not seem to figure it out audio-wise. We had some serious issues when they tried to call in. So hopefully this time things work out differently. Hopefully this time things work out better. And with that, let's welcome in here, for the first time ever, hopefully for the real time, Apple Pie Club. What is up, Apple Pie Club?
Hey, Zach, can you hear me?
We got you. We got your audio.
Finally, yeah. Sorry about last time, buddy.
That's all good. I'm glad that you made it here. I'm glad that we got you to call in. And I appreciate your support in the chat always.
Yeah, of course. Love the show. Love the Sick Kids Initiative. You do a great job. I always type in the chat that you have the patience of a saint, because if I'm being honest, some of these calls just go on, and you're just kind of sitting there taking it all in. So, it's I appreciate, that's a talent in its own. So I do appreciate that you kind of give everybody the opportunity and the space to kind of call in and speak their mind to their heart's content, in a sense.
Thank you. And you know what? Honestly, that's the entire point of this show. I can come here to give my opinions, but at the same time, I want to hear from everybody else, because it's not just about me. I am a Leafs fan like everyone else, and I want to hear what everyone else has to say and what everyone else thinks about this team. So I appreciate that, and I'm glad that I can provide some type of platform for everybody to call in here and give their opinions.
Appreciate that. Yeah. I just wanted to call in, and I'm actually calling in from my work laptop because I couldn't get the audio working from my PC. So hopefully they don't find out. But anyways, I'll try to keep my points clear and concise. So essentially, the way that I kind of see it, and I don't really see anybody talking about this offseason is important, because I feel like if they're serious about contending, they have to kind of look at the big picture, which is the end of the 2028 season where McDavid's contract expires. So I feel like this offseason has to be all about setting the table to basically have the best chance at signing McDavid when his contract runs out. Ideally for me, the setup would be, and I know this is like kind of like a rehashed summary of what everybody else was saying, but ideally GM would be Meta, president would be Gillis, and coach would either be Cassidy or Carl. But with Meta specifically, I have a very bad feeling, like I'm talking like pit of my stomach, bad feeling that he's going to end up in Jersey. Like, it just makes too much sense for him. Like, he's from there. He's done scouting for the Devils organization. Like, I think he's a lock to go there. So then I'm kind of curious as to maybe to get your take as to if he's going to Jersey, then who would you actually prefer instead as GM and maybe as president and maybe as coach?
Well, I do kind of get the same feeling that you do about Meta and where he would end up going. As soon as New Jersey was granted permission, and I knew that was kind of on the table, the thing that I kept thinking about was the interview that came out where he said he became a hockey fan because of the New Jersey Devils, and he is a Devils fan at heart. So it keeps feeling like that's going to be the most likely landing spot, and I also factor in it seems like it's going to be Shanahan who gets the job there in New Jersey as well, and based on his history with Kyle Dubas, it just feels like that would be the right fit. Like, that would make sense. So if you're going to have to pivot, I probably start to look at somebody like Brett Peterson, who's, I believe, also an AGM there in Florida, also going to be interviewing for some jobs and stuff. So I could see him being a decent fit. I think he's running the Team USA World Championship team. I think he's being the GM of that, and he's going to take control of that. So, it's a little bit different to be a GM of that team, but he's going to have an opportunity, and he's obviously being recognized as a guy with some potential and some trust being put in him to be given the reins to Team USA at the World Championship. So I could see that fitting. Otherwise, I don't know. I'm fine with the idea of fresh blood. Does Chris Pronger want to take the job? I'd be interested in that. Does Mike Johnson want to have the job and be involved in that and make the leap to a front office? I'd be interested in that. But to me, it's more so looking at some of these guys who are more forward thinkers, guys who are going to be more creative, and guys who can recognize problems quickly and come up with creative solutions to those issues. So those are the kinds of guys that I would look at.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I feel like the thing is, having a retread GM or somebody that's kind of really been in the game for quite a bit of time, I don't think that's really the way to go, because I think they tried that with Tree Living. And when he got hired, I even said it on the day that he got hired. I'm like, what the hell is this doofus doing here being hired by Shanahan when Shanahan himself had a foot out of the door, right? So his hiring, like Tree Living's hiring, never made any sense to me. It was bizarre that they hired him so quickly as well, given his track record. This guy did so bad in Phoenix that they were forced to relocate because of how bad he made that team, and then what he did with the Flames as well. So his hiring made no sense. But I'm probably the only positive of this season is that they let him go before the season even ended. So I think I was ecstatic when that happened. But I agree with you. I think we really need somebody in here that is like a meta, where he's very kind of unconventional in his ways, but he's proven. I think the biggest, appeal of meta, obviously, is that he's won back-to-back cups, but more importantly, he's faced us in those two playoff series, so he knows exactly what this team is missing. So I feel like having somebody in place as GM like that, I feel it would really kind of help to steady the ship, because I really feel like I know it would be easy to go scorched earth and kind of be like, well, we're rebuilding and all that, but you have Matthews under contract until 2028. You have Nylander under contract until 2031. As long as you have those two, and maybe like a decent goalie, like the guy that we saw tonight, maybe he's the goalie of the future. As long as you have those pieces in place, I feel like you can quickly turn the ship around. You don't need to go full rebuild. You just need to get the right guys in place. Maybe revamp the draft, the scouting system, and add a few more pieces, and I think you should be good to go next season, right? But it's all about this offseason getting the right guys in place and basically building around what you already have.
Yeah, you know what? That's the point that I keep coming back to with William Nylander and Austin Matthews, is that if you do have those guys, you are in an advantageous spot. The problem just becomes, how big is the mess that you have to clean up? And TSN put up the board here tonight before the game started, and it was the needs for the Maple Leafs. And, it was looking at the right side. You're going to need a second line right winger, a third line right winger, and a fourth line right winger. Assuming you keep Nylander and Matthews, right? You're going to need that. You're also going to need a second line center, which a lot of teams in the NHL currently need a second line center. So it's not like that's uncommon. And to be honest with you, for the most part, you can kind of get away, especially for a regular season, with a guy to be like a filler position. You can still be a competitive team if you have an okay second line center. It doesn't have to be an elite guy, but just okay. But then, to be a team that's going to win a Stanley Cup, you really have to find a way to upgrade that. So I don't know how that's going to work. But if the goal, maybe if you're just going to try to get back and be competitive next year without like absolutely ruining the next 5 to 10 years of the franchise, then it's potentially doable. But there's other holes here as well. You're probably going to need some more depth when it comes down to lower down on the left side of your lineup, outside of what you have in Easton Cowan and Matthew Knies. You're going to need guys on the defensive side of things. Like there are upgrades that need to happen over people, and then there are holes that need to be filled that you just currently have open right now. So it could potentially be a heavy lift here to find those people because they're not all just readily available. And a lot of guys already started coming off the board who were going to be potential free agents coming up this summer. So it's going to be tough, but if you can get a guy in there who's more forward thinking and creative, you could probably start to fill those holes. And it could be guys that maybe next season, they're not, it's not the guy who comes in and immediately is a second line center, but maybe you find some younger guy who grows into the second line role. And maybe it takes him 82 games, maybe it takes him 2 years, but if you can get ahead of things and find the guy before he's the guy, again, you might set yourself up for a decent position going forward.
Yeah, those are great points. I agree with you. And that was why I actually suggested Gillis as president, because I was reading something about his presentation that he made to the Pittsburgh Penguins. And one of the most eye-catching things in that presentation was his idea for scouting and basically how it would entirely revamp how we've currently set up scouting in the Leafs organization. And it would basically completely revamp it into 2 separate departments that go off and do their own scouting and then come together to basically compare notes and see both of us kind of like this player, or, one guy like this guy and then one guy like this guy, and then they basically discuss it. So that was one of the most eye-opening things that I read about Gillis. But again, people have been pointing out in the chat, he hasn't been in the league in a while. He's been off, I don't know what the hell he's doing, yoga or meditating or but he was apparently going to rugby meets and talking to people in that sport and so he's gained a breadth of knowledge, which is always nice. But of course it's there's kind of a fear of this guy's been out of the league for more than a decade, does he still have the chops to get it done, right? And on the point of a Pronger and the Mike Johnson, I think those would be great additions to the organization as basically hockey voices to bounce off ideas off of. But in terms of giving them GM positions or anything important in that sense, I feel they'd be better suited as advisors. But I don't know if that's how you feel as well. I feel advisors kind of a safe role where they're not really involved, but they're there if you need to pick somebody's brain in a sense, right?
Yes, but I think that these guys would probably want to be more involved than just being advisors. I get the impression that if they wanted to just be advisors, they could probably do so right now. And I think that they're more interested in being in a front office position where it's going to actually have some weight, where they can make decisions and they can be the front leading guy, whether that's as a president, whether that's as the GM. I kind of just get that vibe that these guys, they don't want to be AGMs and advisors. They want to be GMs and the lead guys.
That's an interesting point, because that's actually something that I haven't considered, because personally I've kind of I pigeonholed Pronger and Mike Johnson as basically an advisor, because I felt these guys don't have experiences, but you're spot on that they could walk into any organization and become an advisor tonight, right? So to them it's kind of I guess starting their career in management, so they probably want a lot more than just kind of being a soundboard, right?
Yeah, that's what I think. And, I'm sure also these guys could also be broadcasters and talk to people and advise in a sense. where people can call them and ask for their opinions, and they could advise as of right now. I think that they would, if they were to go in, they would want to have more say and more control. And it's pointed out in the chat. Justin Bennett says Pronger was a senior advisor already. So, I think he's looking for more than that.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. And probably just a few more points. I don't want to keep you here too long. What was I going to say? I hope that the pick doesn't go to Boston, because I feel like, having a top 5 pick is going to like be massive in whatever retooling or rebuilding that we're doing. It's just, it goes without saying, like just having that asset within your organization, it's a boost of confidence, really, right? Just to have that pick, right? If it goes to Boston, then you're dealing with two problems at once, where you're retooling, but also you've just given up a top 5 asset to your division rivals, right? So it'll be interesting to see what happens with that. I just wish, and this might, like, the timing of this is kind of obviously like probably biased, but I wish they would have, and this is probably not going to be a popular opinion, I just wish they would have given Dubas more time, right? And I don't want to kind of harp on that point, but I feel like seeing what he's doing in Pittsburgh and seeing that he finally, like, probably for the first time in his career, he doesn't have to answer to like a Shanahan or Uncle Lou, right? So basically, the first year that he's not being babysat by somebody else, like, he's gotten a team into the playoffs that, rightfully so, like, had no business being there. I just wish they would have, given him a bit of a longer leash. Like, yeah, he made a lot of stupid mistakes as GM, but I feel like that's part and parcel with the job, especially as a young GM, where you're going to make like a Kadri trade and then look back on it and say, I probably shouldn't have done that, right? So, because I kind of see him as like a GM version of Paul Maurice, where he started his career extremely young in the business, and he's only going to get better with age. So I'm hoping that maybe, and this is probably like a long shot, maybe like when his career is done in Pittsburgh, maybe they'll open the door back so he can come in, because GMs with experience are extremely valuable, especially one like Dubas, where, he's gained so much experience in the role already, right? Like with the Leafs, 9 years here, and then he's gotten the Penguins into the playoffs. Like, after whatever happens with this pick, with his Penguins tenure, he's going to be very coveted once he finishes there. And I hope they kind of leave the door open for him to make a homecoming back here.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I guess, like, I'm not gonna say no to that in the future, but where I'll disagree with you, because you're saying give him more time. I would not have given him more time. It had run its course. He obviously was not going to get more control of the situation. And to be completely honest with you, like, he would have been better to come here now than when he did. And he would have been better to have experience on some other team, got to go and learn and get mistakes out of the way, and then come here and be the GM of the Toronto Maple Leafs. He was learning on the fly in real time with a young group that was not in position to have such extensive learning curves for them. Like the guys that you had here went through contract negotiations a few different times in which he got bent over in those. He lost those. He got a little bit overexcited on the John Tavares signing, which I completely understand it, and I don't have an issue with the John Tavares signing in general, but that signing ended up forcing his hand to make a Nazem Kadri trade that rocked the franchise, unfortunately, because from the day you traded Nazem Kadri, you basically spent every day going forward looking to find another Nazem Kadri. That was a mistake. A lot of the trades that he made were mistakes along the way, or not signing people, like not signing Zach Hyman and letting him walk because they didn't want to give him the no move clause or the extra $500,000 or whatever, like wouldn't do that. So he ends up walking. That is the problem. He learned here in Toronto and went elsewhere. I don't think giving him more time here in Toronto was the right answer to all of this. I don't think so at all. I think that if the roles were reversed and he was in Pittsburgh and spent 5 years in Pittsburgh and then came to Toronto, yeah, I could look at Kyle Dubas a little bit differently. He also has some autonomy, but you know, I disagree with you on he should have gotten more time. I think it's fair to say he should be here now. But I'm not going to just let it pass with you saying, yeah, he should have had more chances.
What can I say? I have a very big bleeding heart, so it's tough to see him. Basically, I 100% agree with you, and I respect that you can kind of push back on that because 9 years is, I guess, way more than enough of a sample size to determine if somebody should get more time or not, especially when you have, you know, 1 second round appearance and not even freaking conference finals appearance, right? So I agree with you on that sense. It's
also, I'll just say quickly too, on the Pittsburgh thing and the success he's having there, very different situation. You have Letang, Malkin, and Crosby, who have all won cups, and none of them want to leave. Like, none of them want to leave, and they've all won already. When he went in there, he was tasked more or less with keeping the team competitive while Crosby and Malkin are here and finding a way to retool for the future. So he had to stock the cupboards back again. He had to find a way to bring back picks and prospects and young guys back into the organization. They didn't make the playoffs for a couple of years while he was there in Pittsburgh. Like, he experienced some failure and had a little bit of a leash in what he was doing there, where he was just bringing in some younger guys and not expected to win a Stanley Cup. It's great that they made the playoffs. Everybody is super happy to see Sidney Crosby and Malkin and these guys back in the Stanley Cup playoffs. Like, I think I'm pretty sure they clinched tonight, but yeah, I don't know. It's a different situation. So looking at the success he has there, I think is a little bit compared to what's happening here right now and saying, well, he's a genius and a god there. Look at what's happening now in Toronto. Like, you fucked up by losing him. I think that's an unfair assessment. And he's also part of the problem for why the team is what it is right now.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, definitely. He went into an aging veteran team that's already, won 3 cups with the same core. So I guess in that sense, it's easy for them to kind of, rally behind and turn their season around and make the playoffs in that sense. But I won't. I've already taken up way too much of your time, so I appreciate you, giving me the space to talk. One final question, maybe a fun one. Who's your pick this year to win it all?
Ooh.
And sorry for putting you on the spot. I know that's
no. It's good. Who do I think wins? Dallas. And I'd probably be happy to see Dallas win. Like, I wouldn't have an issue with Dallas winning. I think that would be a fun team to cheer for. I'm also going to be rooting for Colorado personally. One of the big reasons that I'm going to be rooting for them is Landeskog and his story and him coming back to play for that team. And I think they're going to be a scary team in the playoffs, especially given what happened at the Olympics and Nathan MacKinnon, falling asleep every night thinking about hitting that post. I feel like it's going to be something that motivates him, and he's going to be a scary player. So I'm probably going West Coast or Western Conference, I should say, and I'm going to go Dallas as my pick. Colorado would be second. Like, if they get through and Dallas doesn't, then I could see it being them. And then I guess if I had to pick a team on the East side, I'd probably go Tampa.
Excellent picks, as always.
Thank you. Appreciate that. I appreciate the call tonight, APC, Apple Pie Club. Thank you for calling in here. I'm glad we got your audio figured out. You know, you've been in the chat all season long. You tried to call in once before. It didn't quite work out. So I'm glad we got to hear from you here tonight.
Yeah, thanks, bud. Thanks for giving me the space and for putting up with my rant. I appreciate it.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thanks, Apple Pie Club. Enjoy the rest of your night.
You too. Take care, bud.
Take care. There you go. Apple Pie Club. Two more callers to get to here before we can wrap this thing up. Let's go now to Hunter. Hunter, do we have you now? We tried before. We couldn't figure it out. Do we have you now?
Hey, what's up, Zach? Can you hear me?
There we go. Hunter, I got you.
Awesome. I just wanted to say first that, you do a great job with the show.
Thank you.
I'm a Sabres fan, and
okay.
I've just kind of been watching. I've been entertained this year by the Leafs, and they're seeming like they just can't get anything right. And
that's gutless, Hunter. That's gutless.
I'm not trying to rub it in or anything like that. I'm just honestly like astonished really at when I just kind of like look at your team and I look at the organization as a whole. Like, is it true that you guys have 6 assistant GMs?
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
I mean, I was curious because I just looked up the Sabres, right? And they have an assistant GM and an associate GM.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just kind of like, granted, we went through a lot these past 15 years. I mean, and I just recently got back into watching the team. I just couldn't do it anymore because they were just like so bad every year. But I remember watching the Leafs and I was like, man, why can't we get a guy like Matthews or Nylander or Mitch Marner? Like, seemed like we always got, the shit end of the stick. And even though nobody here was a fan of Kevin Adams, I mean, he put together a pretty amazing team. And it just seems like the Leafs and the Sabres are like polar opposites. We have we seem like a really young team that, we get a lot of scoring from the second and third lines. And I mean, I think we have one of the best blue lines in the NHL. And
yeah.
I mean, I look at the Leafs and it's like, they got rid of all their draft picks and they just tried to go through free agency and trades. And it seemed like after each GM, you guys are worse off each time. And, I know a lot of people want to do the retool. I mean, I would just say as an outside observer, it just kind of seems like you guys don't have enough assets to make a difference that, you know what I mean, that would actually move your team up to the playoffs or Stanley Cup. I mean, you have a great first line, you have pretty good goaltending, but outside of that, I don't really see too much.
Yeah, I mean, look, that's why I think that they needed to hit some home runs on some of the trades this year, and I think I was a little bit frustrated with that's why I was a little bit frustrated and confused by the timing of the firing of Brad Treliving, because you had an opportunity to go into a trade deadline and win trades, whether you were going to trade a goalie or Lawton, Waugh, Maccelli, if you were going to try to do that, Bobby McMahon, OEL, maybe McCabe or Carlo. You could have moved a lot of pieces and done 2 things at once. One, recouped a shit ton of assets. Because if you moved off of all of those guys, or as many of them as you could have brought back prospects, picks, and loaded the drawers. You could have brought back maybe some guys who could play in the NHL next season. You could have found ways to get creative and be a team that would have ate salary cap and used retention slots that you have in your arsenal, whether it was trading guys out or being a buy stander and taking on salary of people who were trying to make trades with other teams, and you could have picked up assets there. I look at the Oilers trade with the Blackhawks. They trade Mangiapane, and to do it, they had to offload a first-round pick to get it. And they trade for Dickinson, and they trade for Doc, but they ultimately the Blackhawks end up picking up another first-round pick. Like, the Leafs could have done all of that. And, okay, aside from all of that, even if you were just going to trade the 3 guys, you could have gotten back better returns on Lawton and on Bobby McMahon than what you did. I think they did pretty well for the Nick Waugh trade, but McMahon and Lawton, like the McMahon one to me is meh. It's okay. I kind of get it, but I think it could have been better. The Lawton one is a complete loss. And if you had moved off of all those guys and won trades, and then you moved off of some more pieces, if you found a new landing spot for Carlo, if you could have found a spot for McCabe or OEL or Maccelli or Domi or whoever, and moved on from them, you ultimately end up forcing your own internal hand to have to play Marlies and get rid of NHL players, which probably helps set you up better to finish worse in the standings than what you even did right now. And it helps set you up better for next season. But unfortunately, the Maple Leafs just could not be creative enough and smart enough at the deadline to do that. So I get what you're saying, like they don't have enough assets to retool necessarily. That's why I think somebody who's going to come in next season to be the GM or in this summer has to be really creative and really smart. But, it's going to be a hard battle to get through and a hard hill to climb to make that happen this year. For sure. Not impossible, though.
Yeah, I mean, I was listening to the beginning of your show, too, and, I can't for the life of me figure out why this team is still playing these old players like Yarn Krok and, half the team, really. And, I'm like, what? If you have 6 assistant GMs, what are these people doing? What? It just baffles me. But, I don't really have too much more. I hope that you guys.
I understand.
I hope that you guys don't pick Kevin Adams as your next GM. But I will say, I mean, he wasn't qualified. He was friends with the owner, and he had no experience. He was like a business guy. But he did. I don't know if it was him or the Sabres scouting, but they were able to find some good young players. But yeah, I really like the show. I know Jeremy wants to get on, and but yeah, thanks for taking my call, and you guys have a good night. I wish you guys well in the future, so we can have some competitive, fun games between the Leafs and the Sabres again.
Yes, I look forward to those days as well. Thank you for the call tonight, Hunter. I appreciate it. I appreciate your thoughts and your input here, and I hope this isn't the last we hear from you.
Thanks, Zach. Have a good night.
Thank you. You as well. There you go. Hunter on the line. We got 2 more callers to get to, so let's start with the next one here. He's going to come in. He said for 8 minutes, let it fly, and then get out. And I'm not going to, kick him out or anything like that, but I think it's fair. We'll probably keep it a little bit shorter than what we had the other night, where we went for 3 hours until 1:30 in the morning. So with that, let's go to Jeremy.
Zach?
Yep.
No, he came in, and I've been waiting for this delusional motherfucker forever. I will be after him. We know who we're talking about. It'll still be 8 minutes. But the biggest Domi fan, the biggest fucking Cowan hater, that motherfucker, I got my PR guy here looking at that chat, and he's there. No, he calls in. He don't come into the chat, just the chat. No, he calls in. I'm after him. I'm last. No, I'm fucking last. Well, he wants to call in fucking last? Put $200 up, motherfucker. Cost money here for a good cause. Jesus Christ. Fuck, I'm working Saturday. We'll talk about this. No, I'm last. It'll be 8 minutes. Might be fucking 10, though, if that cocksucker goes off. Jesus Christ. Everybody's been waiting for him for weeks. I want to hear his opinion. Because you know what? I make you smile. I'll make you smile when he done. When he done, I make you smile. Because he's going to drive you fucking nuts. Nope. I'm fucking after that fucking motherfucker. No offense. Great call, everybody else tonight. But that fucking dude, no. I fucking stood here for I don't know how many hockey games saying, man, if I fucking had the balls to call in, if I had the time for all this shit, that fucking guy is going to get a wake-up call. I will be your wingman. You know what? I'm older than you. Which one's older, Brady or Daniel? I'll be your wingman. I got you. You fucking sit back. You get to relax like when you do to me, and I will finish it. Next caller. I'll be here, done speaking, staying in. Him next. We'll talk to you soon, Leafs Nation. Let's go with those fucking super chats. You fucking guys have all this time in the world to sit here and talk shit. $2.26. Let's go. Come on, sweeties. Okay, right. I'm done speaking. I'll be waiting. I'm next. I'm fucking next after him. I'm the last caller, but I am after him.
Okay. No more introduction needed for the next caller. I think people know who it is coming in. Let's welcome in Prague. Prague! Where are you, Prague? Prague! Oh no, he's missing. Prague! Prague! Oh no, I think we lost him. There he is. Prague. Welcome to the show. You're on. You're in. What's up, Prague?
Give me a minute. Give me a minute. I'm just grabbing some food. I'm just warming up some food. Give me a minute.
Okay, get out of here. Okay, what a gong show this has turned into. Okay, while we wait for Prague to get ready, let's go to do some super chats. Pow with a super chat reminder. Proceeds from our super chats go to Sick Kids Charity. Shout out Pow for this one. I'm afraid that any new president or GM comes with a strong hockey background will get hamstrung by the corporate structure that MLSE has. Look, I saw comments from Chris Pronger today. To be fair, I didn't read the entire article yet, so I can't speak to all of it. But I did see there was comments from Pronger that effectively said, like, if you come to MLSE and you work in this organization, is Big Brother looking over your shoulder? A lot of people were mad about that and saying that it was like an entitled comment and stuff. Again, I have to read more of the article and see what else he said. But just from a surface level and from those comments alone, like, what's wrong with that? Well, I don't see anything wrong with what he said. He's right. And it's something that we've all known here takes place in MLSE. And it's something we've all known is a problem, whether it's been while Shanahan was here, or if it's here now when True Living was here, or if it's going to be potentially under the next GM and president. Like, MLSE is going to have their hands in things. They always have. If you want to win, it might be time to get your hands out of the pot and let somebody that's smarter than you when it comes to hockey and running a hockey team take control. You know, Brendan Shanahan came in here and was the intermediary when it came to the hockey product and the business product, and he took a lot of that on his plate. That left Kyle Dubas to run the general manager position. And we know that the chain of command was still kind of messed up, but it did. And it took some off of his plate, and it was a better structure. And yet MLSE still has a lot of involvement in what happens on a day-to-day basis. So you want to eliminate that? You want to actually win? Get MLSE and their hands out of the pot. Have them have no more interference or, input in these things on what happens with the hockey team on a day-to-day basis. Now, to be clear, in any normal organization, you're going to have conversations that run up to ownership if it's about big picture things. You know, let's talk about trading Matthews. Ownership's going to need to approve that. Nylander, ownership's going to need to approve that. Rebuild, ownership's going to need to approve that. But making a trade at the deadline shouldn't have to go through Keith Pelly. It shouldn't. You don't want them looking over your shoulder. Not because you're doing shady shit, but because you need autonomy over these things and you need their hands out of the pot. We're still waiting for Prague here. Hopefully he hurries up because we got to get to Jeremy. But L Hacker seems to be upset in the chat. He says, no matter what, you will criticize and pick someone to demean. Berube's time now to be the scapegoat. Okay, L Hacker, what is it that you look at with this team right now and you put the blame on? I think I've been pretty clear over the last little while. It's everybody who's involved in this thing. It's Keith Pelly and him being too involved. It's Brad Treliving and making bad deals and bad trades and constructing this roster poorly. It's it's Craig Berube for the way he runs the team and runs the operation and the systems that are in place and the coaching. It's worn thin. It doesn't work out. It's the players, because we know a lot of these guys don't have the heart or the balls or the guts to perform at an elite level that it takes to win on a nightly basis. When it comes to the playoffs and the postseason, they can do it in the regular season, but then what after that? Everybody's getting the blame here. So what do you want me to do? No more being upset with people, and the way that things have gone. No. Let's all hold hands and sing Ring Around the Rosie. Kumbaya. Everybody love everybody. Everyone fucked this thing up. Everyone. There were actually too many hands in the pot to make this thing as much of a mess as it is. Dude, I think I gotta gas him. I honestly, unless he's back within the next 30 seconds, I think we gotta gas him. Oh my God. The timing on this. All right.
What's up?
Prague, what's up?
Not much, man. What's going on?
What's going on with you?
Nothing. Just watching the games as always and just wanting to burn down Scotiabank Arena and all that stuff.
Wow. Okay. Aggressive. So how are you feeling here tonight?
First of all, Zach, I want to say thank you again for another season of this. I started watching at the end of last season. I want to thank you. And I want to ask you how your new place is. It looks like you're starting to get it like a pretty nice.
We're working it out.
I like the background.
We got the internet sorted. We got the background sorted. I've got a TV above me here now so I can watch hockey games while I do the post-game show. I don't just have the scoreboard watch. I'm watching Vegas and Seattle in real time. It's a good setup we got here now. I pray to God Seattle wins, but I don't think so. They're losing 2-0 right now, 5 minutes left in the second.
Well, first of all, I just want to say to all us suffering Leaf fans and just hockey fans in general, because of the shitty league, I went to the Leafs game. I went to 3 hockey games in the past month, one Leaf game in Buffalo. And guess what? I was center ice, 13 rows up from the ice. How much do you think that cost?
$300 a ticket.
88 American a ticket. Tax in.
Oh, shit. All right. That's not bad.
I got me and my buddy who's in residency down there. So when you see people getting charged like $100 to get a signed whatever or $1,000 to wave a flag for an 8-year-old, I'm just telling you, we're getting fucked for a shitty product, dumbass management, horrible coaching. I don't know who's talking to who. Like, my thing is, I'm happy Cowan looks good, but the thing is, uh, 3 weeks ago is when Florida, no, maybe not even 3 weeks ago, 2.5, Florida started shutting it down. Everybody has a fucking injury. They shut down Seth Jones. Oh, I don't know what happened to him today. Like, and where are they? They're tied with us. So all the people who said we can't shut down in January, I'm like, why? What are we watching here? We're winning. We had a winning streak against backup goalies. And it was not like impressive games. We were still getting outshot and out. Like, we've been outshot and outcaved. Basically, every single person outside of the most elite players on our team, except for Matthews, has had horrible years under Berube. Last year, we had spectacular goaltending, but if you look at it, we were outshot at every bloody turn. We had runs for power play, blah, blah, blah. But like, this is what happens when you don't have a management or an ownership that gives a fuck. Because, I'm sorry, we're going to keep Berube, and there's a good chance that Pelly's going to force Berube on the next GM or president or whatever. Because, like, there's no reason. Like, just like how we've gone ass backwards in terms of for true living, anyone could have told you that who's from Calgary. Like, it's unbelievable that Keith Pelly, who knows nothing, interferes with hockey, interferes with any kind of sport. Like, if you look at that, he called it, instead of saying draft picks, he said draft choices. Like, the whole thing is a mockery. And then we have to listen to the media, these people saying, oh, this and that. I'm like, I'm sorry. We've listened to you for a long time. Oh, we need to get this player. We need to get that player. We get those players and we get nowhere. So I'm just done with this whole bullshit because, like, if we have Berube, who might be a terrific guy, I assume he is. I have not heard nothing but, like, good, apparently people saying that, but he's not a coach. He's not a coach. He has done nothing. Like, honestly, give me a topic, anything. Like, why didn't they shut down Knies? He has a knee injury. I can tell you right now, unless his leg is amputated from the knee down, every injury on your body can get worse. Right? So, like, seriously, I don't know what they're doing. Like, they fired their head. Hey, what's going on?
If you're in the background, mute yourself right now.
No, but like, I'm just saying, like, Steve Dangle had a interesting thing that he tidbit from a couple days ago, where apparently they fired the head of the mail room. Then they weren't getting mail, and they were like, oh, crawling back to the mail guy, and then and he said, pay me whatever more, and so now they have interns. And you're telling me the richest team in Canada, like, if the Leafs won, Canada will burn. Like, every fucking person from the people who are wearing Vancouver Canucks, they'll all of a sudden wear fucking Leaf flag. Please, don't tell me. Morgan Riley's father will have a heart attack. He's been a Leaf fan forever. But, like, every single player for the last 2 years, outside of the top players, even Riley, I bet you if Riley goes to another team with half-ass decent coaching, he doesn't have to be top 4. He could be number 4 or 5. I don't give a shit. You'll see him turn around. He's not worth his contract, but, like, it doesn't matter. Like, all these players that we...
Well, it kind of does matter because his contract matters here. And you can't get his contract lower while he's here. So that part matters in Toronto.
But yes, but, like, here's the thing. Let's say, okay, it matters, but the thing is, like I said for months, we need to put players in positions to succeed. Playing Riley with Myers.
Yeah, not good.
Like, we're putting Domi at center again. Like, he had one 72-point season. You know his worst point totals? Well, playoffs he always plays well, but, like, worst point totals of his career is in Toronto the last 2 seasons. And he was underplayed 3 seasons ago. But I'm not saying like I'm not a huge fan of Domi, but I'm saying these are people we can use to get assets. I think Domi's super talented. And anybody who calls me cocksucker says, okay, let me ask you, Phoenix, in his rookie year, he got 52 points, playing like 13 minutes. The only person who beat him was OEL. But the thing is, that's not my point. I love how Cowan since Matthews' injury, has been playing. He's been playing fantastic. However, why did you put Matthews in there to get injured? This may affect him long term. Why is really playing injured? JT is playing 20 whatever minutes a night. He's 30 fucking 5. Unless you want him to be the captain again and take care of the kids, what are you doing? Like, we have 3 games left. Why is Villeneuve on the shelf? Like, Tavares, he had a great season in his first year. He's in his 3rd year. He's having a run right now. Like, they're asking about a right-handed shot winger. Willie has a brother who is last season, he had played 5 games. 5 games.
I don't think he's the best example. I get what you're saying,
like,
where you're
we
going,
have
but like
people. I'm just saying, like, we don't know what anything is because we don't.
Well,
try.
I think we know what Alex and Nylander is. I do think that one we do know. I think most of the NHL knows.
I want to see it here under a better system because if you look at it, the last time he even had a slight chance was with Columbus, and he went had 20 points or something in 24 games or whatever it was, something crazy. But like the thing is,
goal. Sorry.
But the thing is, I'm just saying, there's so many people like Topi Niemela. No matter how much you think, you don't know what he is until you give him an actual chance, right? Like we give nobody a chance, and then we say, oh, we're all out of ideas, not trying anything. Like Henry Thrun, Matt Benning. He's actually played almost 500 games. Like that's more than most of the Leafs. Like I just don't understand any of this, and I don't know what. Like we have Pridham now in charge with whoever the Metcalf. What have they done? Signed anybody? No. A lot. Waived freaking Myers or Youngtrock? I don't care. Like, what have they done? Have they told Willie injury time? Have they told?
I mean, is Nylander? The thing is, though, you also some of these guys now they may not be injured. Like Nylander, you can't just say injury time if he's not injured. Tavares, you can't say injury time if he's not injured. But to me, it's the guys that are injured. Like Matthews, we knew was banged up and dealing with something. Sit him out. I agree with that one. We knew coming out of the Olympics, Nylander was banged up and dealing with something. That would have been the time to do it. Now it seems like he's fine. But that would have been when to do it. Prague, like looking at those guys then, some of them, that's fair. Now to just say it, I don't understand. But there's other guys I would pick for sure. Why is OEL still playing? Why is Myers in your lineup? Why is Stetcher and Benoit and Myers and banged up OEL playing and Villeneuve's not playing? Like, why are those guys in the lineup? Why is Yarncroke in the lineup? Like, I can understand that stuff. There was a point in time where I think shutting the guys down for injury would have made sense. Now, I don't think so. Like, it's not going to happen with Knies. It's not going to happen with Nylander.
But here's the thing: Marchand was shut down last week. Jones was shut down today or yesterday, whatever it was. Like when you
Seth
have
Jones, I think has been out for a bit, but
no. But I mean, like they've been shutting down everybody. If you look at like I think they showed a graphic a couple days ago in one of the games about how many players they've shut down. And with
I understand.
Injuries, and like the thing is, OEL's like I think the last 3 of the last 5 games, he's missed today was not that long, but he's missed at least a period in these in those other 2 games, or maybe the last 3 of 4. What is he doing? Keep him going so people will trade for him because in the off season we'll get picks too. We'll get high picks because. 3.5 million, 2 more years for a guy who's just killing it. And if you look at what Bobby McMahon is doing in his second full season, right? what was it, 12 points in 8 games at that point. I don't know what it is now. But like when you have somebody who allows them to go, when you have players who are given a green light, like I just don't see what they're doing because they're probably going to hire a GM before they have a president, if they hire a president, because I think Pelly
Which
just wants
is
to
a
be.
backwards situation, yeah.
And they've kept the coach. He said he couldn't fire the coach. Why? Like, here's an example. Everybody's said Troy Stetcher coming out of the Olympic break looked like shit. Well, he had 1 week of actual coaching from Berube. Look, like, how does Grew get 18 minutes a night of a couple? He had 2 or 3 games where he played like 18 minutes a night, and Lawton couldn't get that. Like,
Yep.
what are we doing here? Like, have Lalonde coach the defense because look at what he's doing for the PK, and have what's his face look at, like, I think they said tonight that our power play was like third best since Steve Sullivan took over. Of course, we don't get many power plays, so that doesn't matter. But what are we doing here? I just don't know because I want the next coach to be someone who's good with development, who won't, like Cassidy. Everybody's scared of making a mistake, especially the kids around Cassidy. So I'm going after Alex Holtz, who's on that team right now. I'm going after all these other players that have not gotten a real chance or been treated like shit from some dumb GM or coach, because I don't believe these people are particularly bright, most of them. Some of them are, but I just don't see how. Like Knies, yes, he'll have a minute here, a minute there that he looks like himself. But I'm sorry, no. I just don't see why you can't just say, oh, he's got the flu,
Well, he wants to play. And then if you do some of that stuff, it does become a PA
If 3 games left, it would matter.
It becomes a PA issue if he wants to do that. If he's healthy and he can play, that's the thing. He has
if
to
he makes
also
it an
agree
issue.
to it.
But if he makes it an issue, but it's only 3 games left, like why don't we do it?
Okay, yeah, sure. Now, yeah, sure, I understand. But I'm more so saying like 10 games ago when he was asked, he made it abundantly clear, I'm going to play. That's the only problem with some of this stuff.
But like, I'm just looking at long term because yes, he can say that, but injuries, just like Lupul fought whenever he was on Robot Island. But like, I'm just saying we have to have people with balls, people with a vision. I would hire, like, if you look at what Mike Gillis did in his 6 years as GM of the Vancouver Canucks, he didn't resign. He had balls. Marcus Naslund, who I loved, he said, fuck you, we're not resigning you. Right? That was partly because they also had, what's his face, John Terrell as the coach, which made him not want us to resign. But anyways, but they gave up 2 good players and they said, okay, we're going to go a different way. Maybe whether it's forced or whether it was decision making. But in those 6 years, they won more. They've been to what they won the President's Cup, Trophy twice, and they made it to the Stanley Cup final. Like honestly, I want somebody. He's willing to be. He says, I'm perfect role for the hockey president, but I don't want any interference from the fucking ownership. The ownership and Pelly are fucking everything up. Like, why do we have to ask? What do they know about hockey? What do they know about like? And it's been reported this week, Friedge and other people, that Pelly has been making decisions.
Yeah.
For hockey. Is that true? I want to ask.
I don't know. I heard that as well. I heard the same thing. Yeah.
What the fuck are we doing here? He barely knows. Like, he probably knows how to golf and how to schmooze, but like, it just frustrating. If you're a Raptors fan, if you're like, I'm a Raptors fan, obviously, but like, bigger Leaf fan, but like, I don't see any plan. And I don't want to hear about getting toughness about this or that. It's not about toughness. Like right now, we could sign somebody in the Czech League who should have been taken as a pick last year, Thomas Galvis. If you ever watched him in the World Championship, you watched him in the juniors, he's a fucking phenom compared to any player we have for defense right now. He's 5'10" and left shot. But JJ Moser who's taken over for Victor Hedman, who was injured for like 40 games, was their number one D, and people are raving. Like every other team gives their players chances. Like, have you heard of Alexander?
I mean, look, in fairness, the one thing that I'm gonna wait and see and hope is that with them doing this, where they've hired a search firm to take over and do this, is going to be the first step to get this thing back in the right direction. I hope that they recognize that they fucked up here and that hiring the search firm will get them in the right direction, whether that's being competitive next season or if it's entering a rebuild or a retool or whatever the fuck you want to call it. I don't care at this point, but if they can do that and remove themselves from the process, I'm okay with that. And like, I will try to remain optimistic that things can change, because we don't know for sure until we see it happen. And I understand the skepticism, but they've hired the search firm, so it's out of their hands to bring people to them and at least find those people. Obviously, they're going to have the final say on who the president is, but you can just hope that they hire the president, he takes over, and then the rest is his. And I don't know, like, I'm hopeful that will be the case.
But here's the problem. I'm pretty sure you've been a Leaf fan pretty long, right? And have you seen the last 3 years with Pelly? Like,
yeah.
What in that world makes you think they even think about that? Because I personally believe, just like how Burke rushed he traded for Kessel, giving up 2 unprotected firsts. Wonderful job. Of course, we wouldn't need Dougie Hamilton, 6'6" right shot D that was top 5, top 4 defenseman for years, or Tyler Seguin, who was a number 1 right shot center. But like, they don't even have good pro scouting. Who have we brought in that like was on another team but didn't get a shot? Huh? But like I look at Washington, Sordiff. I look at Florida.
Yep.
I look at Carolina. They brought in Bussy. Like, these are
well, that's what I'm saying, though, Prog. Like, I completely understand, but that's why I want them to go in that direction going forward. And that's what I'm hopeful for can be the case. I get it, and I know that those are some of the shortcomings that we've had here right now, and we can look and name all the people in the world, but I'm going to cut you off on it because we've done it enough, you and I, here on this. It's just, I'm hopeful that they can change that and start doing that going forward. Does that mean they're competitive next season? I don't know. Maybe not. But, at least that would set you up to start being more successful in the future. That's the hope.
Okay. I think, like, I look at our forwards, and honestly, I think we could compete. Like, we won't be necessarily a contender, but we haven't been a contender for 20-something years. Right? But I think we could compete. I think we could have competed this year. Like, if they win, like, we're at 78 points, right? The other teams are going to finish, who are, like, they're saying maybe 97 points gets you into the playoffs in the East. Like, honestly, like, how hard is that if you actually had some sort of brains going on? Like, let's say, yeah. No, but, like, if you think about it, everybody thinks this is the worst season ever, but... And it was unintentional. It is the worst season because it's like just the stupidity of it all. But like, if you think about it, we're at 78 points. If you had a half decent coach, someone who did something, tried different things, or even had a structure, like I have not really seen too much structure from the players. Even last year, I was like, okay, well, they had possession initially, and then their possession numbers were down. So like, we have possession players, and if you listen to Steve Valiquette, I think he's even gone on the Leafs Nation morning thing with Nick and Rosie. Like, I'm pretty sure he went on that. But anyways, he said basically there's 2 types of hockey teams that have gone to play, right? Like win Stanley Cups or go deep runs. And they all involve good skating, good passing. It's like either off the rush, or both off the rush and off the rush defense. But I'll look at, okay, here's an example. Everybody loves Ben Danford. But would you like Cole Hudson, Ilya Protas, I don't know, Igor Chernisov, who's on San Jose? Like, we drafted somebody that was shocking for that point, but everybody thought he would be like a 3rd-round pick. But there's other players
I don't
Or
think
much-
Ben Danford was projected to be a third-round pick. I don't think that one was a reach.
He was not a first round pick. He was not even an
I
early
don't-
second. But
Yeah,
anyways,
I'm
either
pretty
way,
sure he was. Yes, he was.
like if you look at all the
That
players
was not
were
that
taken-
shocking that they took him there. And he
Anyways.
also won Defensive Player of the Year in the OHL this year, and Penalty Killer of the Year, and Shot Blocker of the Year, and whatever. Like, it's not like he's some bum.
But would you like to have somebody who, like Cole Hudson? Would you like to have Ilya Protas? Would you like to have Igor Chernisov? There are actually better, even right shot D that were picked right after him, or like in the rounds after. I'm just saying, it just there's on every level. Like, what would you want? Like, okay, I want to hear your voice because I missed a bunch of the post games. What, like, if you're in your perfect scenario, would it be they hire a president and then the president does their
Yes.
thing?
Yes, that's it.
And who would the president, like, personally for me, out of all the names I've heard, Mike Gillis seems like I've read his amazing plan to Pittsburgh Penguins. I thought it was brilliant.
Yeah, I mean, that's fine. I don't have an issue with Mike Gillis. I don't. I think he's a forward thinker. I think he's creative. I do think that Chris Pronger would have something to offer in a president role. It's a very similar situation to what happened with Shanahan when he came in and became the president here. Like, I don't have a problem with that. I think that those are the kinds of guys you could look at to come in here and be able to do that job. But yeah, like it's not bringing back some type of retread old school guy to me. That's the key.
But the problem is Pronger's not going to hire somebody who's analytically like. Here's the thing.
I don't think that's true. I don't think that's true.
I don't know. The thing is, I just don't. I don't trust him. I don't see what has he done. Like, he's I both hated him and loved him as a player. He was a headshot artist, but he was a fantastic player, right? And he's I think he would be great. I think you can hire him as an advisor, get him involved, and then groom him. Fine. I have no problem with that. But I don't want him to be the president of hockey ops, because I don't see him making the decisions. Like, I've heard him talk. He's talking about toughness and this and that. I'm like, no. Like, the thing is, you can make fun of analytics all you want.
Yeah, I don't think he is just talking about just toughness. It is an important part of the game, but I'm pretty sure every time I've heard him talk, he's very intelligent about how he speaks about the game and everything like that. So I think
don't bring
that's
him in as the hockey ops.
no. I think I think it would be fine. Like, excuse me. Honestly, like, I think it would be perfectly fine to bring a guy like Chris Pronger in to run it and be the president.
I might be wrong.
I
I just think I just haven't been as, like, I want him. I think he would be great. I think he has a presence that we need. But the thing is, I think we need to develop that skill, and so that he becomes, because hockey ops is also, you're taking care of the marketing, not only just the people you hire to run the show, right?
Yeah,
So
and that's
the
the thing is, like, Pronger is now very involved in, like, business leadership conferences and is doing leadership speaking and writing his own books here now. He was a senior advisor in Florida. Like, he has been around.
I didn't hear about that part. I
Yes,
didn't read
he was a senior advisor in Florida. He's been around organizations. He's been around the game. He's now on TV and talking about everything and breaking everything down. Like, he's got... And it's a good point here. Hookah says in the chat, yeah, Pronger talks about leadership and winning play style, not necessarily toughness. Toughness factors into it, but he more so talks about what it takes to win more than anything.
Okay, so maybe I misinterpreted it because it was whatever. But the thing is, I think he would be good, but I want somebody who has dealt with management before, and Vancouver's management is just as fucked or more fucked than ours. With Aquilini and whoever it was before that. And that's why I like Mike Gillis. I think he would be great. Like, let's say we have Mike Gillis and he decides to put Pronger in as AGM or GM or vice president, whatever it is, right? I think that'd be fantastic, because I just want somebody who's already been there. And I know Mike Gillis has, like, one of the reasons is he's tough and he doesn't give a fuck. And I need somebody like that. And that's why I think Pronger is a good person to have, but I just don't know. I don't know. Maybe Mike Gillis takes the lead as the hockey ops and he takes Pronger in as GM, whatever the fuck it is. Like, I just want somebody I'm so tired that we have spent so much money in the Leafs organization supposedly on analytics, but they don't even look at it because analytics is not the be all and end all. I say look at the ice, look at the product, and then use analytics to see if you're going the right direction. Like last year, anyone who looked at the analytics saw hot goaltending getting caved. Hot goaltending getting caved in almost every defensive metric. We couldn't get our pucks out. If you use your eyes, yes, we did. We went far, and thank God we had Kristanev. But like, even that decision is. I loved Kristanev, but that same year they could have, like I said, Matt Roy, Sean Walker. We could have traded for Alexander Carrier. We could have, like, there's so many options that are there, but we always just think about, okay, who's the one that's got a big name? Oh, Brandon Carlo. Well, he hasn't played top pairing or even top 4 minutes in Boston for like 4 or 5 years because he had concussions. And that's why he's not like he was tough initially, but now he's careful about his head and he doesn't want to get into a fight. He doesn't want to get into anything. I'm pretty sure that's one of the reasons, or maybe I'm confusing the defenseman, but I'm pretty sure it was that because I don't think since 2022, I don't think he's been top pair. The last season, he was, I think, number 5 or 6 in Boston. So, and there's only been, that I can remember, 3 picks that people have traded that really didn't have much protection, and it's all been Toronto, honestly. Toronto and Ottawa once. But like, I just want to see a good direction. I want to see, and I want them to, they're going to kill the fans. Like, if a fan can't go to a game, can't afford to go to a game, like who can, like I'm still paying off those tickets from January when I took my nephew for his first game.
Yeah, I know. I get it, man. I get it, Prague.
Anyways, but I appreciate you, and I appreciate everyone on the chat, even the ones who call me cocksucker, because they're the same people who wanted Luke Shen this year, which is fucking ridiculous.
All right, Prague.
Anyways,
thanks for the call tonight, buddy.
Have a great one.
Appreciate it.
Have a great night, and
Thank
go
you.
Leafs go.
We'll see you for game 82 next Wednesday. You better be there. All right, there you go.
Yes, sir.
All right, Prague on the line. Thank you to Prague. Let's go. One thing I want to do here before we wrap up, just because he had a good moment tonight, and I was really happy to see him get a start, and just the opportunity that was presented to him here in this one, and how he handled everything. Achtyamov, man, this guy, he had himself a game. Like he did. He really had himself a game to come out and play that way in front of a team that just does not give a shit. They did not show up for him. Let's just hear what Achtyamov had to say post-game.
Tonight feel for you?
Feel was unbelievable. Like my first game, I'm so excited, and it's I think a good experience for me. And yeah.
You were busy. How did that help you kind of get into it right away?
I like when I'm busy, honestly, and yeah. But my team does lots of work, lots of good work, and we just, I think, was unlucky tonight.
What is your favorite or best moment, do you think, tonight?
Every moment, my favorite. Yeah, I mean, first game. Yeah, I remember this game all my life.
Did it surprise you how busy you were to start the game?
No, I'm goalie, and that's my work, and
Right.
I was ready.
What did the team kind of say to you before this game?
They support me. Everybody support me. Thank you for that. Thank you, coaching staff, all staff, for this opportunity.
Were you nervous at all going into it?
Not really. Just maybe right before the game.
Right.
Yeah.
What about you played like a few minutes in relief one game this season? Do you think that helped with kind of being
I think
comfortable?
so, yeah, because this game was against, like one of the best player in the whole world, and I think this helped me.
What was it like going up against Sorokin?
He was one of my favorite goalie when I was younger, and I watched his game when he was in KHL and when he moved here. Yeah, and I was so excited to play against him.
How do you describe that lap around there when it's just you and him? And I don't know if that helps or makes you worse.
I thought I don't need to do this because I played 10 minutes, you know, and but yeah, it was great.
What has been so good for you this season? What do you like about how you were playing?
I don't know, like this is my second season here, and this season I play more games, and that's really helped me because yeah, I feel more like, I don't know how I can say
comfortable.
All right, there you go. Holy, right as I come back. There's the Achtyamov comments post game. Sorry. Oh my goodness! As soon as I start talking again, I wanted to give credit to Achtyamov and play that clip for everybody of him talking post game. There's a little bit more to that video that was put out by the Maple Leafs on socials, but it kind of just dug a little bit deeper. I just wanted to play that here so everybody could see what he said post game about his first experience playing in the NHL as a starting goaltender and what it was like playing against Sorokin and top end talent and all that kind of stuff. Like, it's just nice to hear. It's nice to see him having that kind of personality and stuff, and you could tell that kind of stuff will develop in him more over time, and the confidence will develop and everything. So I just wanted to give everybody an opportunity to hear that because I was reading all the comments and stuff, and a lot of it just doesn't do it justice. And by the comments that I was reading, you could tell that he had some personality. So I just wanted to show everyone that here on the post-game show. With that, let's go to our next caller on the line. Let's welcome in the final caller of the night, Jeremy. He wanted the last word. He's got it. Jeremy, what do you got to say?
Well, that dude, I was sitting here with the boys, or talking to the boys. I say, you know what? Here we are talking about fucking Achtyamov, to where I said before he played his 11 minutes in the rest of the one game earlier in the season. So he had, 51 shots on him tonight?
44.
44 tonight. So fucking, there we are. 55? Right? Because we had, oh shit, am I off on my math? Anyways, doesn't matter to where he stopped all those. But I told the boys the game before he played that, I said, look at this rookie Russian fucking goalie for the Marlies. He's a rookie, but I don't know how long it's been since I've seen a rookie goalie in a Russian tour. That's perfect. He don't know what the fuck this place is all about. Just like our little fan zone ring tour, hats on backwards. The fucking swagger, like he went out for warm-ups, puck shot him, whole bit, then sits on the bench during the game. No, he's not going to play. He'll be rocking the show because that's when we had both Joseph Wall, his personal deal. Hey, we have personal deals. Does it all need to be out there? No, right? He didn't get injured all season. He had a little soreness. Didn't affect the game, nothing, right? To where we had those goalies. That fucking Russian goalie, I looked right there, said, that fucking dude with that swagger. That fucking swagger. And that's when there was like, I don't know, part of the team playing at the time, right? Because if we do injuries and talk injuries like fucking Florida and everybody else is allowed to do them, right? Take a sippy, baby. We're doing this. You get to relax when I'm on. To where fucking he sat there with his head on backwards, walking that room with John Tavares, Tanev. Doesn't matter who's playing, who's injured. You're in that culture, in that room, in this fucking, in that bowl, fish bowl, head on backwards. I looked at him and I said, that motherfucker is a bad motherfucker. And by the time he's Hildeby or even Wall's age, he's going to be what everybody's talking about. Because no goalie, it takes a lot of balls to put your head on forward, to wear a hat backwards, go to the golf club. Should I tuck it? Should I do an untuck? Maybe a half tuck You know what I mean? Should I go with a low-cut black sock? Should I switch my golf shoes to a white to a black, smash in the shorts? But you walk in that fucking room, you go out there for warm-ups, shoots, boom. You don't expect to be going in. First game, you get by it. But that whole game, he got to watch Hildeby, who's his wingman, right? My wingman, your wingman, you know, fucking Shaq and Kobe, right? To her fucking head on backwards. Then he does it the next game to her head on backwards, walking into a fucking room. The first time I called you, but it was like, what the fuck? No, let's get the shit right. To her, then we have copycat chat, copycat league. But how many fucking goalies as a rookie, Zach, even though that helmet back there, you should have said, hey, can we get an NHL cage on the front of that? Because the OHL cage, because back early 2000s, they decided to go to square, just like fucking, what is it, midget hockey now or whatever, to where they couldn't have unless you're the Detroit Junior Red Wings. And they were allowed to come in with an NHL goalie mask with the fucking whole big opening. Anyways, to how many, imagine walking into, would you go walk into a room as a rookie, first time in North America, into a room with your hat on backwards? Doesn't matter, in, out, what have you. The big thing is then go sit on that bench and watch that hockey game for your first time with your hat on backwards with that swag, then do it again where you take it off, you go out, save fucking 11 stops in whatever, the half a game. To tonight, that guy is a dog. Cowan, dog. I wish the team fucking just went up and said, hey, for the next 3 games, you guys better be doing your best blind man passes all by the blue line. I want everybody to do, hey, I'm going to show you a video from Mitch Marner. Get by the blue line, especially in an important situation. Get up against it and pretend there's 4-year guys there and do a back pass. Close your eyes and I want that. Clockwork, baby. 3 games to go. Here we fucking go. We had the most games played. They better lose them all. But hey, we wanted to see goalies. We knew Hildeby is not coming in. He's already showed his shit. Let's not fuck his numbers up right now going into next year. Because tonight, they had, 45 shots? Well, look at that kid's numbers. Yeah, the stats, I was telling the boys tonight, the stats shit at the end of this game because letting the 5th in. But overall, from the last game, 11 minutes, those shots, it all adds up to where that kid got the fucking peppering. That, hey, do you want more pepper on your pasta? I guess now you're going to get it. We have no fucks tonight. You're getting fucking laid tonight. You're getting laid tonight. There's going to be rubber all over you to where you ain't going to need a condom when you pull your fucking pants off. That's it. You're going to be able to go there. We're going to look at you as a drag car. Wow. Fucking, you just laid down a patch of rubber. I smell burning rubber. No, it's Achtyamov. He's fucking. You know what I mean? For the shots. That dude, I seen enough. Hey, we talked about the chat, the most realistic fucking blah, blah, blah. Cameron, great call last night, my guy. Great call. Just like, or Max, MD. Great call, but we are not the most realistic fucking fans out there. Trust me, we're tied with Montreal delusional. You know what I mean? That's why the building's loud. Is every night is Game 7, singing a soccer chant, Olay. That's soccer shit. Fuck it off. At the end of the day, is tonight there. That was beautiful. Clockwork the whole bit. But that Prague, I want to go head to head. We need to talk to Prague. Sorry, dude, I figured out how to tap the button there and be like, let's move it on. Because I wanted to tap it about 6 more times for Pittsburgh. Mike Gillis was in Vancouver. You messed up on the team. This, that.
No, he did a pitch. No. Wait, hold on. Sorry. He pitched to Pittsburgh when they were looking for a president. That's why he was saying that.
Yes, but we're going back into date after talking. He's talking about this, and we're going to go back like we talked last night. It's everybody's fault. There's always excuses, no solutions, right? They go to we're talking fucking the Sagan pick. That was Burke's fucking first 48 hours of the job. Yeah, we got a trade to announce. Andrew Raycroft traded the rights to Toronto for Tuukka Rask get a second round. Like, you know what I mean? Let's not. That's fucking everybody else's fault then. Let's stop it out of there, baby. You know what it is? There's going to be more hockey trades now, I think, in the next few years. I didn't want to say it, but I think it's going to start happening because everybody's taking their little piggy banky, right, and stocking up. And that Ian Ball want to talk about shit about fucking Jeremy's piggy bank? Where's all the motherfuckers with these goddamn sick kids fucking super chats going up? How much money we had, Zach? Somebody told me to do the math.
300.
I don't want to do it because I could do stats on the top of the dome. To where the boys were like, hey, Jer, if they put a laptop and you just looked at the stats of that team, not Toronto's and that one, boom, put the laptop down. You already know all their stats, plus, minus, that. To where this is all on top of the dome. At the end of the day, is I don't want to do math on the super chats, but talk about bank count break. I could have said, hey, let's match 1,000, but I know nobody close to 188. And 88 cents because you could do it by the bank account, so you can get that fucking penny in there, motherfucker. You know what I mean? $2 and fucking 26 cents. Get to fucking $2.26, 226 at a fucking corner store. Way off topic. We need that ring around the thing. At the end of the day, is this league is going to come to more trades. It's going to be more back, I think, now that the cap is finally getting up there and everybody has money except for 3 teams in the negative. McDavid, good luck. He's the only one coming up for contract in 2 years, and everybody else is signing their old. And Stan Bowman thinks about trading another goalie. Fired. Dude, how many goalies we have to go through with McDavid? Well, we're going on the 9th. And I'm pretty sure it's going to be a good one. You know what I mean? To now, McDavid coming to Toronto. Knobloch to fucking Toronto. And Chris Pronger, the Pronger, I don't know, fucking take a listen, dude. It doesn't need to be the guy that knows this, that, the other. You could have Chris Johnson. Maybe Sonny Meta comes and does what he does in Florida. But here, maybe Chris Pronger with his fucking backbone. I have one too, very strong. And Demeter and Tones. Remember when I told you you're a liar for saying I fucking sound a little bit better on the iPhone from that piece of shit Android? And then I tried out my fucking mic and then headset mic. Turtle Beaches, no big deal. Right? So he's like, oh, he fucking lied. I sound more like me now. I sound like shit there. Fuck you, Zach. We'll get over that later. To where the Tones is a big fucking thing in life nowadays. Not coaching, not fucking what was I saying? Coaching, preaching, learning. I bet you nobody knows what else I said. At the end of the day is you have to coach each individual, right? Coach. What was the other word I said yesterday? Nobody will get it. No. Okay. At the end of the day, you have to speak to all those and be a teacher, right? To all those, but the tones, your demeanor, how you, all that. For fucking Chris Pronger, do you think Keith Pelly is doing anything? He already said he ain't doing shit. I don't want to be the guy to pick left wing, right wing. Yeah, buddy. You know what? We don't care about those because wingers are dime a dozen. Go get a box of fucking nerds. They're all the same. But you know what? You have to buy a fucking thing of fucking big giant sour keys. You have to go to the bulk barn now. They don't let those go that easy at the store anymore. That is your fucking defensemen, your centers, and that. At the end of the day, is he all that? No. He knows that there needs to be somebody else around. He ain't doing shit. He doesn't want to fire the next guy. Berube, unless Berube says, hey, I want to too. Boom. Bottom line is, those guys can work around there. Maybe Sonny Meta comes in and does the same job he does in Florida with Brian McCabe and Zito and fucking Pronger at one point and their whole. Do you see their crew over there? It was big as the fucking goddamn U.S. team. To where maybe it's not just like it's just that. It's a different direction in speaking. To where tones are a big thing. The Mike Johnson thing, I didn't even get to say yesterday. To where when fucking Merrick said that, no need to name drop. I already know how good he is. You fucking guys going off to go do junior shit and get smarter. Anyways, to where it's like Mike Johnson never thought about it. Oh my God, Boston College, fucking lease pick. Oh my God, Hobie Baker finalist. He was second to Rookie of the Year with 48 points, 47. And Sergei Samsonov, I think, had 49. Or he had 49. Sergei Samsonov had 50, 51. It was right there to a Rookie of the Year. That was the Rookie of the Year fucking go-to right there. And fucking Mike Johnson's there. He's off the top of the dome. He's off the top of the dome. He can straighten you out in golf. He can straighten you out in basketball. Do you think Keith Pelly was thinking this team was going to be he was coming here thinking, oh, fuck, right on. I don't have to go out there. We'll fire this guy. We'll get a president after this year. The teams will get through. This team's good enough to make it to the playoffs the way they are with what we traded. Trevlin, when he comes up to his contract, we'll fire him because he's a great speaker, but no fucking solutions. And Berube, well, he should be able to keep the court. Or I don't know, maybe they all hated him. At the end of the day, the last thing on his mind, the way they've been rebuilding the soccer team, the fucking basketball team, was, wow, the Leafs, I'm going to have to fucking really be in a fucking shitstorm this year with a team that's been in the playoffs this long to where I really have to. No, it was basically here. You guys run that, boom, the president will come in or blah, blah, true. No, this is all this true. Everybody thinks that guy's making moves. I bet you, like I said, not to go way back into it, but that guy, the smartest thing he probably did when I take from that observe is, no, you trade Knies, you guys are all fucking gone. Everybody will have to forfeit the next fucking game tomorrow because the condensed schedule we're playing. You guys are all fucking. Are you fucking kidding me? I even know better. I'm changing my glass frames to black because I'm mad. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, is that Prague has to fucking Chris Pronger and talk like Domi. Fucking Domi, he was a fucking hero. To where this team, it's not as bad. But that Mike Johnson thing, that Pronger thing, and Sonny Maeda, how about we talk about that? Maybe those three right there are bringing in your fucking GM. And you got Johnny Eyes, Pronger Eyes. Oh, fucking goddamn Prague. I don't want toughness. You're talking to a defenseman 5'10" left-handed. 5'10" left-handed. How many circumcised fucking and how many are in the world? They're a dime a dozen. That's why right-handed shots are big deals to where fucking 5'10". We can do that. There's not that many Quinn Hughes, Paul Martins in the NHL to be 5'10" because left-handed D are fucking like wingers, dime a dozen. But saying toughness, this and that, we need to go. I'm going to run the show on Saturday. We'll talk after this. At the end of the day, is like I was so flabbergasted on somebody saying this team doesn't need toughness. They don't need a Chris Pronger. Oh, he's a head taker. Actually, no. He remember Happy Gilmore? Yeah, I'm actually the first guy that gets suspended for taking off my skate and trying to stab someone. For Chris Pronger, no. He actually cared enough. He jumps on your ankles. You got to skate in hockey to play. Your ankles aren't done. That's why I said after that Gudis game, everybody's still talking about the fucking Anaheim game. To where you should have just been at his wrist and ankle. He had a bad ankle in the shoulder. To where, you know what I mean? You got to go for the spots. The stupidity around here. To where I don't know, Zach. But yeah, I can fucking. Well, we're going to be wingmans. This is unbelievable. It's unbelievable that Prague comes on here and his dick tightened up. And he had to fake making a hungry man dinner because he heard me. I heard him. That's how I figured out the chat room. Hello. Oh, and then, oh, shit, he's on. Oh, I'm off. Sending it off to you, Zach. And I'm off, and then, boom. What the hell? This doesn't sound like Prague. I'm going to bed. He's not complaining and everything. He doesn't want to bitch about everything and anything that's so irrelevant. We're going back to Tyler Seguin. Phil Kessel was like a young bucko, eh? When that was, yeah, where is he? Yeah, fucking like back to Seguin. That's our problem. That's what we got from after all this time waiting for your fucking ass. Was fucking relevance to Tyler Seguin and fucking Mike Gillis and no Pronger. And you're like, where's your resume? Your buddy Keith Pelly, nobody likes, is like, I'm opened up to anything. I had 7 fucking emails there before I came up stage. Now saying we're up to new, old, all ideas. You have a better way to put your fucking tie on quicker than I can with a clip on from AMP? Fucking, you know what? I'll take your resume. Fuck it. Yeah, but my resume is all in one. Yeah, I can see that you put the big giant fucking letters there and all the words. Yeah, I wanted to fill it up, make it 2 pages. Like I had Xbox too, and when they got finally to franchise mode after just GM mode, I'm basically the next fucking Ronnie Francis or who else comes up there. How about Sonny Maeda and Pronger, and you have a few guys because they're rebuilding that upper because they fired them last year. You know?
Yep.
And
all right, I'm gonna
to go back before we let me go. I know I said 8 minutes, but I'm a liar too, like you, Zach. No, actually, you're not. But where are these super chats? Let's get them going because are we really gonna be the cheap fucking goddamn fucking Leafs Nation channel? Are we really gonna be that channel? Like Victory Puppies, $50 from fucking Steve Dangle. Not giving him a shout out. He ain't part of this shit. But all it takes is one win. He gets $50. You know, they had 31. Let's go.
All right, Jeremy, I got one thing for you here before I let you leave. We did hit 300. We did hit $300 in donations here on the super chats tonight. We're also
we're fucking
8 likes shy
away.
of 100. But let me throw one thing at you, and I want to get your thoughts, and then we'll get you out of here. McCluskey in the chat says, "Imagine Jeremy as the in-arena hype man. We'd be the loudest barn in the league by 1,000 decibels. What do you think?
Yeah.
You want to be the guy next year?"
Dude, the thing is, if you met me, you'd be like, what the fuck? Jeremy, who is this? Is this your PR? Is this the Kenny guy? Is this his PR? He's so cool. Yeah, when I'm able to put it this way, I'm going to go try a stand-up there fucking after the season on the last one on the Wednesday, but it's a Thursday. That's a shitty thing because, like they say, if you could do it with nobody seeing you, Jeremy, and my biggest fear was always call it in stand-up. I never did it during high school to where it's like, Jeremy, maybe you're prepared now for what you're shy of before. You know what I'm saying? To where this has brought crazy confidence to where anyways, I would kill that job. The building could have fucking the fans like they did tonight. See some open right where we could have our little hype up shit there. There's so many gold seats.
Well, it was
I would make that
was in
building
New
louder
York.
than if it was full.
They played on the road tonight.
Oh shit, that's right. Really? They're that empty in the fucking Long Island with all those goals? And fucking everybody said, oh, DeBoer. No, like fuck, he's taking Toronto's. Like fuck, he's taking what? What? He's not good enough for Toronto. His fucking home area. Who drafted him? But you'll go to a team with 5-6 games to go, and they're not even in a playoff spot. And he'll go there and sign a deal. Anybody that wants to win and has a drive for success and bets on themselves, because I'll tell you one thing. I bet on myself all the time, but I only put my bets in great places. Remember I said I played poker? We can laugh all sunny. Made it all you want. That's one thing I did want to say as a poker player. I will take that over an analytics guy. And if the poker player played fucking hockey growing up and he has a smart mind, I'll take him because you know what? They could read out the 8 people at that 9 fucking player table because you are the 9th, right? To where, you could read people. They are smart people.
Very calculated in decisions and risk management too, yeah.
Right? Or should I go in there? What are the percentages of me going all into this guy? But if you pay attention to that guy all night long and everybody else at that table and you're not worrying about jibber jabbing, you're focused on the fucking A game to where, that guy, now he's in every hand. Yes, I will call you because you are lying. No, you're lying to her. Boom, called. Now everybody exposed him to her. He is crap. Just like Toronto exposed fucking Tree Living on, hey, wow, he's more of a speaker. He should be a speaker. And if you believe him after he speaks, then that's on fucking you. To where when you only have so many pitches, right? You only have so many pitches. And if they believe the first couple and things go bad and you only have one left, wow. Now what? Hey, get the fuck out of here. You know what I mean? No, you have to be multitasking. You have to have pitches. You have to have different solutions. The game has to be played minimum 3 different ways because there's 3 different areas. The fucking neutral zone, defensive, and O-zone. And if you can't coach to all those 3 zones in multiple ways with multiple players coming up and down, whoever joins your team from the top that puts those players in place, good luck. Not going to happen. You have to be able to coach individually, not fucking coach a team individually. Those fucking players make the team on their own. That's by going out and getting hammered up and everything fucking Pronger talked about to her. Hey, we don't need a tough guy. No, that guy has a demeanor backbone to her. Shanahan came from players, fucking director, spending people. Yes, he came from hockey to talk like a fucking league guy. To where now he's the president of the Leafs, talking like a league guy. Not talking like a guy that would fucking punch your lights out in a game 7 for a cup. To where we need a tough guy. You are not acting like how you played, Brandon. To where Pronger's in the perfect spot. Same with Johnson. As they are still hockey guys and blah blah, to where there's no other, and they've been around enough to where they can go with a backbone and say, this is what I see, this is what it is. Then you take the little sunny Meta, put him in between and go from fucking there. God damn it, man, I fucking love this fucking talking on the shit. I'm fucking, the next one's with the mic, I promise you. But we'll run the fucking show, because you know what, I'll do Saturday.
I won't be here Saturday. I won't be here Saturday.
No, that's what I'm saying. I'll be here Saturday.
Okay.
We'll figure it out.
Okay, I'm pretty sure Alberga will be here Saturday. We're working out a solution, but I will not be here. I'll be back on Monday and then Wednesday. Zach.
Okay. You're wingman. Not your guy that's this. No, you're wingman. To where, you know what?
Okay.
Maybe we need Jeremy to come and take forth half an hour to get it either derailed or railed. No fun. Yeah.
Dude, right? I'm going to be like Drew Bledsoe and you're going to be Tom Brady. That's what scares me. I'm going to take one day off.
Why are we going to be a bunch of old guys? Why are we going to be a bunch of old guys? Why we?
Well, I'm talking about when they were young.
Put it this way. How about 2 Klay Thompsons in their prime or 2 Kevin Durant's in their time? Because Kevin Durant, hey, I don't care about no
easy
fucking
money sniper.
Drake night. Right? Kevin Durant, I don't care about no fucking Drake night. Yeah. Why can't we be 2 Kevin Durants? They speak their shit. They don't give a fuck about no Drake night. We care about fucking winning. Remember that fucking the Raptors? Well, I don't care about no Drake. No, we can't. Kevin Durant, C or B. I'll be B. You're A. You know what I mean? And it's pass to where, hey, Steph Curry, yeah, just fucking step out about fucking 88 feet there and just pop him in. I'll be there, rebound, pass it. I want to have 18 fucking assists tonight, and I want fucking 34 rebounds, and I want to have a 0 for points because I'm making a point to where I could have had points, but no, I want to just have my points like that tonight. Next game, I'll have that, and I'll put I'll get a free throw, miss one on purpose, the second one, but I'll get the first. So I'll get the first one, miss the second, ball, rebound out there. So I have 1 point, 20 rebounds, 34 assists. You know what I mean? For strategically, you know. But yes, we'll figure it out with the World Talk.
All right, Jeremy.
You got my email.
All right, Jeremy. Thank you for the call here tonight. I appreciate you. With that, we're gonna end that there. I think this has been an amazing call, though.
Super chats out there.
Yep. Get the super chats in. Sounds good. Thank you, Jeremy. Appreciate the call here tonight. You enjoy the rest of your night, and we'll see you soon.
Money.
All right, there you go. Jeremy on the line. We do have some things to go here. We just had an amazing chance for Winterton on Seattle right in the slot, and he couldn't beat Aiden Hill. That game remains tied 3-3. For anybody who's wondering what the hell I'm doing with a Seattle-Vegas score on the screen and why I'm watching this game so intently, we need the Kraken to win games. Win games. Not just, I mean, picking up points is great, but winning games is the ideal situation here. So we're going to be heavily rooting for the Kraken to beat Vegas in this one. Let's get to a final couple of things, and let's start with some of these super chats that have come in before we do some of our final segments. Super chats here that we've got right now. Pow Pow, we read that one. This one comes in from Hunter. Says, prayers up for Leafs fans. Don't sleep on the Sabres. Thank you, Pow, for that super chat that you sent in. Let's get now to our final couple of segments. We've gassed at this point the grades of the game. We're not doing those anymore, so let's go now to our play of the game. Okay, play of the game for me is going to be the Easton Cowan goal. I said in the pregame, and it wasn't meant to call him out or anything, but just Easton Cowan needed to bounce back tonight. I didn't think he had the greatest night last night. I thought that there was a few too many, of those junior rookie mistakes from Easton Cowan against Washington, and I wanted to see him have a game here tonight where he could show some confidence and he can get in here and play those minutes again, be heavily relied upon, but also be a guy that you could point to and say, hey, you know what? Even if he doesn't score or produce, he's showing that confidence, showing that creativity, and he learns from mistakes. There were a couple of turnovers that he had, one of which turned into a prime chance for Braden Shen down low. He did end up having to recover from it and broke up the play, broke up the immediate shot chance that Shen would have had down low below the hash marks with getting his stick in the way. But, I thought this was a better game for him. There's still mistakes that are coming, but you expect that out of a 20-year-old kid. Macklin Celebrini, Connor McDavid, Matthew Schaefer, when those guys were 20 or when these guys are 20 here right now, 19, 20, 18, whatever, they're going to make mistakes still. They are making mistakes, but they're going to do it less. A guy like Easton Cowan is probably prone to some mistakes. Can he figure it out? And I think that tonight was a night where he bounced back. He had a much better game, and that goal that he scored, just a beautiful shot. One of the reasons why I want to give that shot in general credit was just early in the season, we saw him taking outside shots a lot more that just weren't that dangerous, whether it was the placement or the power. And I think that some of those probably beat junior goaltenders. They don't in the NHL. They don't catch guys by surprise. Their ability to read and detect those pucks and, keep up with slower shots or whatever they may be is going to be much better at the NHL level than what it is at junior. So he's probably going to get guys like that. Developing a shot, developing some strength. That was just a beautiful shot from Cowan out near the top of the circle on that power play, and he buries that one. So I want to give that the play of the game. There are no grades of the game anymore. We have removed that from the show to end off the season. So with that, we're going to go to our final segment, which will be the Tankathon. I just was actually taking a peek at where Vegas was at on the season points-wise. They only have 4 more wins than the Maple Leafs. We're depending on what happens tonight, and 10 points ahead of Toronto. But the Toronto Maple Leafs currently sitting with the 6th best odds to win the first overall pick. If they stay where they're at, they would hand their pick over to the Boston Bruins. The Seattle Kraken, who we are currently monitoring right now and are tied 3-3 with 5.5 minutes remaining in the third period against Vegas Golden Knights. They are ahead with 3 points. They have a .487 win percentage. The Maple Leafs have a .494 win percentage. So that's the team we're trying to gun down here right now. But Seattle keeping you out of that top 5. The Maple Leafs need desperately to move into a top 5 spot. Desperately. Because handing it to Boston at 6 makes me want to puke. Unless 10 teams jump you, which is not possible, and push you back, and then you hand Boston, like a 10th to 16th pick. Okay, manageable. 6th overall, that will make me squirm till the day I die. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, people of all ages, there's one sim and one sim only. Let's sim the lottery. No! The Florida fucking Panthers move up 5 spots to 2nd. The Calgary Flames move up 2 to 1st. The Canucks drop 2. The Blackhawks drop 2. The Rangers, the Seattle Kraken, and the Maple Leafs drop 1. the Leafs give the 7th overall pick to the Boston Bruins. Fuck. Okay. That'll do it for tonight. 4 minutes and 50 seconds remain in the Kraken Golden Knights game, so we'll be monitoring that one. But with that, we'll shut down the postgame show. Game 79 tonight. Thank you to everybody who watched, commented, liked, subscribed to the channel, all of that. I will not be here on Saturday. We will sort that out of who will be here for that, but I will be back for the final 2 games of the Leafs regular season, Monday and Wednesday, to break everything down that happens in those ones as we close out the season. Hopefully 4 straight losses to finish off this year. But thank you all for watching. Thanks for being a part of this chat every single night. Thanks to all the callers here tonight. We'll see you guys back here on Monday. Until then, keep believing. For more content just like this, including game previews, post-game live shows, Leafs Morning Take Monday through Friday with Nick Alberga and Jay Rosehill with special guests, as well as instant reaction videos, make sure to subscribe here to the Leafs Nation YouTube channel. Turn on notifications so you don't miss any